Y'all know what it is. MZ Talks Boxing.
Let me make this abundantly clear. We talk about boxing here. My opinion is winning, but if you ain't feeling, then good on your boxing. Yeah, this mental headshot sting. So do these body blows that I bring. You wanted the big step to the ring. Let's go to the toe to the final bell ring. MZ Talks Boxing. Yeah.
What it look like, what it do. Oh, what it do, what it look like. Welcome back to another episode of MZ Talks Boxing, where I am your host, MZ. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to give it a few minutes, because we're running late. Y'all know how it is when you're working that job, putting it in as best you can. Sometimes you come home and lay down for a few minutes. And a few minutes turn into a couple hours. The next thing you know, you're knocked out. Get everything set up. See how it's been going. It's been a beautiful week. Bets been coming in. Making my bets, getting the bets. I'm going to talk about Canelo running across his statement again about he not going to fight Mexicans. I'm not fight Mexicans because I represent Mexico. That a bitch. We're going to see how it go down. We're going to see how it go down. Let me go ahead and get some things situated here. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. La-la-la-la. It's been a good week for me this week, I must say. Kind of hard today, though, man. When filled my car up with gas, getting ready to head to Houston to get some recording done. And the cable to switch the gears from the little hand thing to the transmission snapped. So I'm sitting in front of the gas pump, just sitting there, stuck for most of the day. But I finally got the car towed to the crib. We'll get somebody to look at it. I'll be back on the road. Hopefully everything goes smooth and we'll be back on the road tomorrow. Salute Trey X in the house. He say, what's up, OG? Salute, pimp, salute, pimpin', salute. Glad to see you come through. Hit that thumbs up for me when you're coming in. We're getting a late start, but we started. That's better than nothing at all. I'm sure y'all agree. As I was saying, I would have been on earlier, but I got stuck out there in the heat. Out here in Texas, in this Texas heat, because my car broke down on me in front of the gas pump. But, tow truck took about 3 hours to get there. Literally 3-4 hours of wait. Now I don't know about you guys that be chasing that money and putting your money down on the fights. But I can say I have been putting down on some bets, and they've been coming back real well. And been getting my picks and my information from the Oracle when it comes down to boxing. That young man named Trey X who be giving me the scoop. And my little bank account has been getting a little coin in it. So I can't do nothing but say thank you for that. Got me rolled up here. Got me something to sip on. I guess we're pretty much ready to roll all the way through. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about the Canelo Blast, or a lot of people haven't been talking about it, but I'm going to say, how can Canelo be on anybody's top anything if this man is talking about he refuses to fight Mexicans because he represents Mexico? That sounds insane to me. And I can understand if he wasn't fighting his brother. I can get that. But just to claim that you're not going to fight any countryman, that's going to suck. Yeah, X, we had a tough week last week with the Pedraza draw. I I never saw that coming. In 1,000 years, I would not have thought that we would have ended up getting a draw. That we would have ended up getting a draw in that fight. I just didn't see that coming at all. But, you know, things happen. We keep rolling with the punches, baby. This week finna be good, though. We finna be fire this week. Fire. And I like Joey Spencer. I'm glad he made the list. I like Joey Spencer. And I was hoping that we picked King Kong Ortiz, too. I was like, come on, we got to pick King Kong. I don't really see Andy doing nothing major to King Kong. I think Ortiz going to handle his business. Through and through. I think Ortiz going to handle his business. I see I slept a little too late. might have a problem getting to my. I might have to make a run. My little, I'm like the dude on Next Day Air. Yo. Oh man, I'm out. I'm gonna have to stop and holler at somebody and get it together. Derek Bailey in the house. Derek Bailey, salute. He say salute, Trey X. Glad to see everybody speaking. Is Canelo real? No, he's not. He's a good fighter. I'll give him that. He can fight. Is he the pound for pound best fighter? Never has he been that in my book. Never. So, am I surprised that he said this? I won't fight Mexicans. No, I'm not surprised because this is the second time I've heard him say it. And I spoke on this before when he said it the first time. I thought it sucked then. I think it sucks now. That you're literally saying that you won't fight. You won't fight certain fighters. Mexican fighters. But here he's willing to fight anybody else. I feel like people should be appalled by that, be upset by that. If they already saying black fighters, oh, they ducked this guy, he ducked this guy. This guy ducking a whole culture of people when it comes to fighting. A whole culture of people when it comes to fighting. And that's sad. And I'm gonna bounce it off for you guys, see what y'all think. See what y'all got to say. I see, chomping at the bit. Come on with it then. The door is open. Y'all know the door is always open. But Canelo is being a fraud. He's not pound for pound. I also want to speak on where I saw Terence Crawford in the interview saying that, talking about if you believe in your skills, you'll take what's given and fight, which kind of brings me to a conundrum and a crossroad with him and Earl, because I'm like, if you believe in your talent, like you saying, well, we haven't heard the fight be announced yet. Just curious. I'm going to choke down on some of this blunt right here. Pause. Put some smoke in the air. I just roll through this situation as it goes. We have been working on the song called Scumbo. Baggins. Couldn't get Maestro's verse put in today. Appreciate that, Derek Bailey. Appreciate that. But Maestro didn't want me to drop it. Obese did want me to drop it. So I'm like, I'm going to put some of the music out with some of the hook and some of the jokes in it, but no verses. Just to let y'all know that we are keeping it real. We are working on it. And it's going to be a fire song. It's going to be a fire song. I want to know how y'all feel about Terence Crawford saying that, if you believe in your skills. He said this in an interview. I don't know whose interview I saw him in when he said it. But he did say if you believe in your skills, you take what you want. You take the money, you go ahead and prove your skills. You bet on yourself. I think he was talking about, I don't know who he was talking about. I don't even care. I know that advice that he spit out, shouldn't you take that advice? And we've been waiting for a fight for a minute. And this dude, we haven't gotten anything out of it. What's up, X? What's going on with you?
Salute, OG. How I sound?
Oh, you sound good. Clear. You got you a new mic?
All right. Yeah. Again today. It's not really a microphone. I just got just some new headphones because they come with the microphone on the headphones.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they came in today. Well, yeah, I thought I'd just jump on and give you some assistance one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I throw a couple alley oops out here. Throw a
Yeah,
few of
you
them.
you were talking about Canelo earlier.
Right.
Canelo, like I know you said that he ducked a whole race of people. And like I'm looking at this shit a little bit differently. Like, he denying opportunity to a whole race. He drawing a color line. You know what I'm saying? That's like a big thing. You know, we black. I listen to
Right.
rap book videos all the time, man. Cut out.
Yeah.
I cut out.
Yeah, you had cut out for a second. I thought you had took a drink of water or something.
Yeah, I had saw that my Wi-Fi started tripping a little bit. I'm supposed to get my graded on Thursday, so hopefully my shit be better. You know what I'm saying? But well, Canelo, like I look at it literally, like he denying opportunity to a whole race of people. You know what I'm saying? So like we blacks, you looking at the color line and shit. I be looking at book boxing videos all the time. He stay talk color line. So I just feel like it's fucked up for him to bring that type of racial component to boxing. Like it's already tribal. We don't need folks just drawing the color line, even if it's against his own people that set a bad precedent. Hell, that shit might bleed over the other races. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's fucking people need to really get on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like how the other fighters supposed to feel? David Benavidez and all these guys, they've been working whole life so they can get an opportunity to be the champion, the real champion, and you denying them opportunity because of their race or their the country that they come from. Hell, I can't
Yeah,
think of the
because
word I'm
they
supposed
make.
to use.
I'm gonna just be country or unpolitically correct to say he don't want to fight Mexicans.
Yeah, see, I understand that. Like I understand. Like you looking at it on the side. Like he don't want to fight Mexican. Like he ducking. I'm looking at it on the side. Like people are being denied opportunities. And just thinking about history that we come from with boxing, man, like our black fighters, thinking about there's a reason we got a word the black murderers. You know what I'm saying? That shit was that phrase was coined by Bud Bird in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. It's a reason that we have that shit. It's because we had great fighters like Charlie Bird and Williams and Jack Burt Littell, Aaron Little, Tiger Wade, all of these that were so great, they didn't get the opportunity to fight championship. Even if you go back before then with fight Peter Jackson, George Godfrey, Charles A.C. Smith, all these motherfuckers, I can't even think of everybody right now. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of fighters. Jack Johnson and Joe Jeanette and all these fighters that were great. Well, Jack Johnson did get there, but you know, Joe Jeanette and Sam McVeigh and all them guys, they didn't get a chance to fight for the championship because somebody drew a color line against them. So that's what's happening right now. Fighters like David Benavidez, they won't get a shot at the championship because somebody drew the color line against them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, and I honestly think it's bull crap. It's the worst thing. It's one of the worst things I feel he could do in boxing, next to cheating, because he did that too. So I guess this wouldn't be too far out of his realm of reach. But you're right. It's stopping them from getting a chance to. It's stopping them at a certain point. And since he's the so-called face of boxing, he's been labeled the pinnacle by media and all these crazy fans. And now he pulls something like this, but you don't hear any of his fans saying, "Hey, this don't seem right." You know, you didn't hear them when he said it in the interview. Either time did they say anything about that? Nothing. No one said, "Well, what about the great fighter? You know, David Benavidez, like you just brought up. You know, he's a good fighter. He stands a chance. Are you saying that you're not going to fight David Benavidez because he's a countryman? That's like, man, come on, that's a crock of crap. I'm gonna just be honest with you, dude. That's a bunch of bull. And fans of Canelo, if they pretend they don't see that, then I'm just gonna say, dude, shame on you. Something wrong with you if you don't see what this man is doing right now. This dude has perfected avoiding fights. He's perfected a way of to avoid fights, and where he can't just outright avoid them. When he run out of plans and ways to, they get a franchise built to help him through his mission of dodging people. Straight up bull.
I actually been seeing his fans disagree with him though.
Really?
What I like on Bobby leaving comments and stuff, and I really ain't seen nobody agree with Canelo. Everybody I've seen, they even talked about how the greats of the past have excellent fights against each other. You know what I'm saying? They'll go out there and go to war. Like you think of people like Marco Antonio.
You faded.
I mean,
faded out, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to get frustrated, man. I don't even know what to do. Like I said, I'm gonna have my shit better. Man, I got some bullshit.
If they running
right
an
now.
upgrade for you, if they running an upgrade, they say they finna change out your router or something. I have been through that where your router just not keeping up with the signal no more. They're gonna have to bring you a new one, take the old one, plug in, and you'll be right back good as rain.
Just off my other device. I guess I don't need it anyway. It ain't like I got to be in the chat and shit, so maybe it'll work better now. Hell, I forgot what the hell we was talking about. What were we talking about? We talking about Canelo.
Yeah, Canelo, and you saying you've noticed that most people that spoke on it or left comments on the situations where it was being spoke about, they did not agree with him. They, because of the Mexican fighters that went to war and made classic fights by fighting each other.
Yeah.
By making their career hot by fighting each other. And now you got this dude talking about he don't want to do it.
Yeah. And then it ain't like the black fighters drawing color lines they own people, even though by action they not really getting out there. I mean, I guess let me take that back. I'll take that back. Because I don't know if it's a color line with Tank Davis. When the last time Tank Davis fought somebody that was black? Yeah, he don't do nothing but fight Mexicans.
I'm sorry. I was answering you because you paused on me. I thought I could talk.
No, go ahead.
But he don't fight him. He don't fight. But he's using the formula that old formula. You beat up the other people.
Well, that's what Canelo's saying. That's what he want to do. So just because one announce it and the other one don't announce it, and they do it under secrecy, under a veil, that doesn't make it any better. Because in action, we not black fighters right now. We fight Mexicans. We Mexican. That's how you build your audience. That's how you get the big pay numbers. You get Mexico involved. So they ain't no better. They ain't no fucking better because they announcing to the world that they not fighting a certain demographic of people. That don't mean they know better because in action they same thing. Mexican after Mexican after Mexican. Hell, how long is it gonna be before Tank Davis and there was somebody like Shakur Stevenson? Hell, we all be talking about what's gonna happen, who he eat, but we don't see him in them type of situations. Shit, I think that the odds of him fighting a Mexican next are high. Yeah, that's all he fight.
I'm agreeable with that. Now that you mention it, yeah, they have a plan that's what they do, and that plan goes back as far as I can remember. What's his name? Roger Mayweather. Wasn't he called the Black Mamba? All he did was be
Mexican assassin too.
Yeah, all he did was fight Hispanics. I did see him when he fought. Was it Sweet Pea? Sweet Pea pulled his shorts down.
Yep, he fought Rock too. Knocked his ass in the title.
He fought Sugar Ray too, didn't he?
Well, did Floyd fought?
Floyd fought Sugar. There it is. But Yeah,
So
I'm with you on that 100%. Tank is following he following the Mayweather path, and I guess what puts the sting in it so bad is the fact that Canelo actually spoke on it. But shoot, now that we really think about it a little further, that he's not the first one to do that, and the Mayweathers have, like you said, they made a fortune off of it.
yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like they view it as easier. Like, why go out here and people like Rocky Lockridge and Sweet Pea Whitaker when we can get a slow-footed Mexican in the ring? That's the way they see it. I know you're gonna have some people floating out there like a Julio Cesar Chavez that might ask from time to time, but for the most part, if you got the athleticism advantage, you got the speed advantage, you got the advantage in your mind, shit, fuck it. Let's go out here and fight these slow-footed men.
Put hands on this boy real quick. Build up my resume and keep it moving.
And get paid. They feel like they about to.
It seems to me that when you look at it, you know, people don't really pay any attention because they playing toward what people want to see. They want to see somebody get beat up. And in Floyd's case, he was able to use it where he had enough hate that it would work. Where I'm gonna fight this dude, and everybody, you know, that group put it all on the line. He gonna get whooped this time finally. And I see it's kind of working for Canelo too, because he's getting people to speak negatively about him. I think his group is growing enough where they don't like him, but I think his choice of the fighters that he's stepping in the ring with gonna have to do something. He also said he don't want to fight Bivol if Bivol lose.
Nah, that's the opposite. On Boxing Scene, on the article, he said that if Gilbert, if Zurdo Ramirez win, he don't want to fight him. But if Bivol wins, he wants the rematch. I just read that today.
So if salute Eric R in the house. Eric R, what's going on?
Salute.
So he's saying that if Bivol lose, he don't want to fight the dude that took the belt from him.
Yeah, because he's Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah, but if Bivol won't say he wants to fight,
I want to see how that's gonna turn out.
Intuition can say anything. If you got a fight coming up, if you got a fight coming up, they always say that they want high profile fight. That's just part of the game now. Like when fighters be saying that they want other fights and they got like a pay-per-view coming up or a big fight coming up, I don't even take that shit seriously. All they trying to do is increase the interest for their current fight. If the fight kind of lined up in the eyes of the public, the interest current fight is increased because they want to see how they look, they want to see the results of the fight, and that's gonna make them interested. And then after the fight, man, they don't need to be worried about the shit no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you on that. 100%.
Just like Ryan Garcia before the fight saying he won't tank. That's what they do.
Eric R say, I'm gonna need Canelo to get the F out of boxing. Tired of that goofy. But I feel you, Eric R, but you know, me and Trey X just dug deeper on it, and you know, he following the plan that the Mayweathers did. You know, Uncle Roger, he beat up Mexicans. That was his thing. Floyd really attacked a lot of essays. Early in his career, he did fight a lot of different colors. But I guess he realized with Tank, why go that route at all? We could start right out in it. You know, go straight to the meat and potatoes.
Bullshit, though.
Yeah, it is, because it's messing us out of a lot of good fights. It is messing us out. It's messing a lot of good fighters out of great opportunities to get a chance to shine, win, lose, or draw. You know, it's just the more I'm seeing it, the more it's like, damn, dude, that's kind of weak. You know, that's really weak.
Oh my
Go
bad,
ahead.
I ain't meaning to interrupt. I thought you. But I'm just gonna say, just look hypocritical when we don't even know it. Like we'll get mad at like for this situation right here, we get at Canelo for saying what he said. And these people are saying the same thing, but it's only with their actions. They're not coming out and talking to us and giving us words. With their actions, that's exactly what they give. I've been on this for a few years too. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing I came up with. I've been saying Tank Davis don't fight black fighters. You know, like I used to say about Shakur, because Shakur was gonna run like Insecure. He fought Toka Khan Clary, he fought Herring, and I got off his back because they mixing it up. Tank Davis, he black fighter like very, very early in his career. I can't remember the guy's name, but it hasn't been very many of them. It's been far and few between. And when it comes, that's why I don't even take them seriously. Like when we be talking about like matchups for Tank, and we say, "Oh, Tank can beat this guy. Tank can beat that guy." I don't even see him fighting because they black. If we was talking about a Mexican or something like maybe Ryan Garcia, I see that as being more possible because I could see them looking at that as like a Oscar De La Hoya type of Tank. I know that he ain't in the same situation as Oscar, but I'm just saying you got a Mexican with a big fan base behind him. Even though Ryan Garcia's fan base is like young teenage girls, he still got a big fan base behind him. So they can see that as being a big fight. But Tank versus Shakur and all kind of shit, hell nah. Tank versus like a Gary Antoine Russell, hell nah. I don't see none of that. I don't get 100. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm mad about it too because I pay pay-per-view for this shit. And a lot of my subscribers love these fighters like a Tank Davis. I got pressure on me right now because of the fucking Wilder fight that's coming up. I don't want to pay for that shit. I don't want to pay for a man coming off of 2 knockout losses. I don't give a damn how much everybody like him and think he the king and all that kind of shit. And I'll be feeling the same way about Tank. I don't be wanting to pay for that shit. I think it's bullshit that we paying for. I didn't want to pay for Mario Barrios. I thought that was some shit. Everybody impressed because the man fight at 140, but that's a man that started fighting 22. And I'm supposed to be impressed because Tank Davis fighting him at 140. I didn't want to buy Pitbull Cruz. I didn't think that shit was pay-per-view worthy. What happened to the days where we had pay-per-views that was just a great event? We don't get that shit no more. We got to be satisfied with the PBC having a roster full of Mayweathers that every single time they fight, we got to pay for them on pay-per-view, even when they coming off a loss. And we the fuck that don't give a damn. They just want to go with it. Get mad at it if you don't see it like that. That's bullshit.
I'm still with you, bro. I'm just listening to you rant and speak on it, which is true. As the consumer, we have accepted that what you just said. We have accepted it wholeheartedly, and it does make listening to you saying you don't want to pay for a pay-per-view for a fighter that lost. But in Helenius' view, he looking at it like he paying for a dude that just came off 2 wins.
Ain't nobody ever in there paid for no Helenius. Ain't nobody paying for Helenius. They paying for Wilder. They got Wilder as like a 6.5 to 1 favorite. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Everybody coming to see Wilder. That's what we paying for.
Not ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I don't know if I cut out.
Nah, you was in here sound like you said ain't nobody paying to see you, Otis. You went to the temptation zone.
Yeah, square business, man.
Social scientist in the house. What's up, bro? He said actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, what's going down, bro?
Eric R follows up saying, Floyd still fought Mosley, Judah, and Berto. If he said he didn't fight brothers, when those fighters were a possibility, I have a problem with that. No, they never said it. It's just that their actions lean toward more at some point, at certain points in their career, that's all they were fighting for a minute or two. You didn't. At one point, the black fighters had stopped showing up on Floyd's radar. They I don't know how often they showed up on Uncle Roger's radar, but I know enough Mexicans showed up on his radar for him to get the Mexican assassin as as one of his monikers. So that says a lot. You know, I guess the sting of it just strikes a little harder because Canelo actually let it come out of his mouth. You know, he's brave enough to go ahead and say it.
I mean, if Tank Davis had Floyd Mayweather's career, I wouldn't be. I mean, whether he was against people like what's the Southpaw with all the kids? Damn, that Southpaw that got all them goddamn kids, man. And Mayweather fought early, gave him a tough ass fight too. It was a back and forth war. Mayweather would tell him, "Motherfucker, quit crying and fight. Quit crying like a bitch and fight."
But not Chop Corley, huh?
Chop Corley. He fought Chop Corley. He fought Emmanuel Augustus. He fought what's my man from Africa? Philip Endo. He just sat up there and named Berto, Zab Judah, Sugar Shane Mosley. You know what I'm saying? Like he fighting people like that. If Tank had that kind of career, I wouldn't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle in some good black fighters up in there. But to me, it seems like they trying to move towards some Money Mayweather type of shit early instead of doing it like on the second half of the career type shit. Like I can't articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's like they trying to go straight to this shit. And they gonna bypass the Chop Corley fights and the Emmanuel Augustus fights and all that kind of shit. Let's bypass all of that because that's not what's lucrative. Let's go straight to the Mexican fights because that's what gonna get the people talking.
Yeah, they circumventing some of the harder fights, in my opinion. They circumventing some of the dangers and going straight to the cake.
Yeah, that's what I think, man. I really do, and we got to pay for it. Like that's the main reason why that's a big part of the reason why I'm mad about it because like we expected to pay for it. It almost feels like it's disrespectful, bro. Like they think our intelligence is low. Like we don't have no fucking brains or nothing. Like whatever we give them, they'll buy it. Like shit, hey, they gonna buy this. I'm gonna put it out there and watch them buy it. And then we run right out there and buy it like some good little hoes or something. Some bitches. Oh. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. We run up there and buy it like some bitches. So I just think that shit disrespectful. I'm tired. I've been complaining about it for a while, man, but I'm about to put my foot down and not be a part of that shit. I ain't gonna be sitting up there handling me, man. You can just put anything out there and I'm gonna go out there and buy it. You can put a man that's coming off of 2 knockout losses and I'm gonna buy it. Like, nah, hell no.
Eric, I'll say you right about Tank. Gary Russell Jr. and Farmer should have happened. Huge missed opportunities.
Hey, and he might have got his ass whooped too. See, that's the thing about it. Like, I think he would have knocked Farmer out, but when it comes to Gary Russell Jr., Mr. Bronze,
that might have been a different dance.
We got a 4.5 going against a 3.5. We got a man that won bronze at the AIBA World Championships, the youth. I think he won it back in 2007. We got him going against a 3.5 bona fide. Yeah, you don't think them people know this stuff, man? Like, people don't become like they have what's called a matchmaker. See, like when I be breaking down fights, I always ask myself, why is this fight taking place? Like, who ordered this fight? Did the sanctioning body order this fight? Or like the fight was mandated or something? Or did the matchmaker make this fight? This nigga is having fights that the matchmakers are making. Matter of fact, he made his own match. They told him who he wanted to fight. He picked Mario Barrios and came out all excited and shit, talking about he had big news about this fight that's about to take place. And it ended up being Mario. And niggas actually got excited about it. Getting mad at me because I'm like, hey, man, this dude fought as low as 122. That's what I'm saying. Going into the fight. And, oh, man, niggas be hating on Tank and all this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, hey, this man is manufactured. Like, I respect the amateur career, 206-15, multiple national championships. The man got a good skill set. The man got unworldly power. I'm talking about he can knock your ass in the next week. I respect all of that. But when it comes to the strength of schedule, I don't respect that, man. It's just like I used to be talking about Terrence Crawford. I don't have nothing personal against Terrence Crawford. I actually like Terrence Crawford more than most fighters. He don't wear no pretty clothes. He ain't out there with a pretty haircut, wearing a purse and a choker chain, walking around with some white girl or something, or some chick from a foreign country. This nigga here got the low haircut, cocoa bugs in his hair. He dressed like a regular nigga. You see him chick that look like she got the same projects that he grew up in. I can respect a man like that. But when it comes to the strength of schedule, I didn't think that he deserved to be pound for pound number one. That was my only problem. And I actually think I've been proven right on the cool, because a lot of people don't view him as being pound for pound right now. They view Alexander Usyk as being pound for pound. So in my mind, if he was truly a strong pound for pound number one, how can one man beat one person and then take over his spot? I was thinking about this the other day. I said, what if Floyd Mayweather was still in the game and he was young enough to be a solid number one pound for pound? If Alexander Usyk was fighting at the same time and he went up and beat Joshua, would they consider Alexander Usyk a better pound for pound than Floyd Mayweather? Hell nah. Floyd would still be number one pound for pound. What you think about that, OG?
Man, I almost cut you off and said I don't see them. If Floyd was pound for pound, even at the time when he was pound for pound, Oscar was still floating around. There was some other names. Floyd remained pound for pound. No, I don't think Usyk would have. I don't think Usyk would surpass him as pound for pound. With speaking on Crawford bouncing off of, I'm thinking just because I caught him saying what he said about trusting your skills and taking fights and stuff like that. I'm thinking he's parlaying what he earned in the lower weight classes. I think he's trying to really parlay that into a big money fight. And that's really what's on his mind. And he's like, damn, would anybody think about it? Which I take my hat off to him for him sticking to his guns in business and trying to make it happen the way he wants it to happen. But the excuses and the level of disrespect that went on through this little thing, I'm like, hey, dude, what are you going to do? Are you confident in your skills? Do you really want to fight this man? Because I don't want to hear about you talking about fighting Charlo or fighting Boots, because really they get him and Earl pretty much getting the pass with fighting Boots, because you know you got two guys, one they holding belts, they trying to fight each other for undisputed. That's going to take Boots, Stanionis, Virgil Ortiz, Conor Benn. I feel like that pushes those guys kind of into their own class, kind of like with Floyd, Earl and Terrence, which Terrence didn't have to go through what Earl went through in order to even get his hands on the belts, because those guys weren't trying to fight Earl at first in the welterweight division, and he had to go and get it. He literally had to go and chase down the champions in order to get the belts. He missed out with Keith Thurman because Keith just wouldn't fight him. Keith was on that head game crap. But other than that, what you just said, yeah, I agree with you 100%. They wouldn't have took Floyd down to put Usyk up, because Floyd was undoubtedly, nobody doubted the fact that he was pound for pound. Right now, it's too many names that's floating around that people can consider pound for pound. They still consider Canelo pound for pound. Some people consider Usyk pound for pound. But Terrence Crawford's claim on pound for pound to me has been weakened. That's how I feel about it, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you. Square business. My shit started cutting out a little bit. I heard most of you though.
Okay. Eric Arcans in. He said, I purposely named Mayweather. I purposely named the Money Mayweather names to make a point, but you made your point too, Trey. And Derek David say, facts, Trey. They treat us like we're on straight up, like we straight up stupid, but we not. We know we not. We consumers, and when you think about it, most consumers go for what you call it, the low hanging fruit. That's how they upgrade on you all the time. Hell, you got a perfect society that believes in grabbing low hanging fruit, and I'll just point at your cell phone. Soon as they see a new cell phone coming up, what's the first thing people do? Oh, I gotta go upgrade my phone.
Yeah, I be thinking they be playing on. Maybe I kind of want to say fear, but maybe it ain't fear. Like boxing is a niche sport. It ain't like NBA and NFL. Like that shit is entrenched. Boxing is, like I said, it's still kind of like it's like a niche sport at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? So it feels a little vulnerable, a little fragile, and it like we see boxing being removed from like HBO. That shit was like long running. HBO ain't got boxing no more, so it just make it feel kind of fragile. That kind of make you want to support it. Because you kind of it make you feel like, well, damn, if we don't support these fights, what if we don't have no boxing at all? We need to support these fights and and play our part as consumers. And I also think that's a big reason why we buy fights. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to support the sport. But I just feel like they taking advantage of that shit though. I think they need to go back to the way it was when they had them super pay-per-views, man. Spectacles and shit is real big. Like they used to have, like even not that far back, I'll be talking about it all the time. Like when Mayweather fought against Canelo. That was a great card, man. It was a great night. On that same card, you had Lucas Matisse going against Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? You had a few more fights. It was like a super card. Back in the day, I remember on the pay-per-views, man, them motherfuckers used to feel like holidays. It seemed like the pay-per-view would come on at like 5 o'clock or something, and then they'll have the 4-rounders, the 6-rounders. And it seemed like they would have fights on all day before the main event come on. That shit not like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think they need to get back to making pay-per-view something that's worth paying for because they don't mind going up on the price. Hell, the pay-per-view, it ain't like we talking about $20 right here. We talking about $75 a pop. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, give us something that's worth paying for, man. At least if you don't give us just a baddest main event that we can possibly get, at least give us some badass undercards, like some supporting fights for the main event. And I won't be complaining. I'm talking about Wilder versus Helenius. Okay, let's say we had that fight, but at the same time on the undercard, we had some shit that was just cold, like a Big Baby Anderson versus a Joe Joyce or some shit. Nigga, I ain't got nothing to say. I drop off my $75. I'm calling the fight. I'm gonna call the frog out of well. But if it ain't gonna be like that, man, I just feel like it's disrespectful.
I feel you. And pay-per-views did used to be events. I mean, they used to last long enough. Sometimes I would fall asleep and wake up and still be able to catch the main event.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Sometimes we used to get to the pay-per-view party too early. And you be sitting on the couch watching all them undercards and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it was that's why I used to always say that pay-per-views are like holidays for me. Because that's kind of like the nostalgic effect that it has on me. Because back in the day, them things used to be like holidays, man. I could not wait for Trinidad versus De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy. I couldn't wait for De La Hoya versus Mosley. That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like we could not wait for that shit. It was a holiday. But now it's not like that. Like when the last time we got a Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya level fight? And I ain't gonna even go to Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. We ain't even gonna do all that. Let's just go back to Oscar De La Hoya in Trinidad. When the last time?
I'm gonna say the biggest fights that I saw, and it was because there was a lot of drama around them. I'll have to say Fury and Wilder. Those were the ones that really, in my opinion, satisfied the hunger of the crowd. You know, it had the opposite effects. It had, like I said, that's the only one I can think of as of late that really had you at the edge of your seat. Like, what can happen? The drama is here for anything to happen. What can happen? I can't really think of a smaller fighter or a fight that gave me that same energy, that same kind of rush.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I mean, we had the opportunity to get some fights, maybe Wilder and Joshua, even Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? That'll definitely be up there. But for the most part, like I still think that De La Hoya and Trinidad, I think that's above Wilder and Fury. Because I feel like Wilder and Fury, they got the sizzle, but they ain't got as much stake. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look on their resumes, you're not gonna be just overly impressed. Let's just be real about it. If you look at the people that they've been fighting in their careers, I mean that shit's not super impressive. They ain't like they out there beating Hall of Famers. But when you look at Trinidad and De La Hoya, they was really out there fighting good fighters. Not saying that they always deserved the victory. Like when De La Hoya fought against Sweet Pea, a lot of people feel like he shouldn't have won that fight. But the fact remains, he was fighting high level competition. You know what I'm saying? These guys, Wilder and Fury, I mean, them guys they were fighting was cool. Especially for Wilder, somebody that got a late start in boxing, started fighting when he was 19 and shit. But I'm not gonna look at his resume and be like, oh man, this nigga here knocking out Hall of Famers. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? But that was a big fight though, like a big fight atmosphere. It was a good atmosphere.
Right. Well, when it come down to it, I try to make sure I look at the fighter in their era. Cause it's impossible to judge them against ghosts. No, they didn't fight the greatest competition, but they fought the best thing they had in this era. And to me, I'm like, they kind of get punished for that. You know, they kind of get punished because they don't have Ernie Shavers or they don't have a Big George Foreman type guy, and they missed or anything like that. It just they just happen to be born too late.
The same thing will be said about Crawford. I get on Crawford for his strength of schedule at 140 and all of that, saying that I didn't feel like he was the number one pound for pound because of his schedule. The same thing could be said about him. Like he just came along at a time where the division wasn't that deep. He beat the people that was in front of him that was required for him to be undisputed, and I shouldn't have nothing to say about it. I'm equal opportunity with this. I care not if I get on Crawford, I'm getting on these niggas too. I'm getting on Wilder too. Like, tell me, all right now, give me Wilder top 5 wins right now.
His top 5 wins, I would say, well, they always knockouts, but I guess his number one win to solidify him would have been beating Ortiz.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you 2. I'll give you number 1 and number 2 right there. I'll give you 2 spots for Ortiz because he beat him twice.
Right. So that would be his best. The rest of it would pretty much be just highlight reel because Dominique Brazil, how he flattened him. And I would have to move Dominique down some because I would have to put Berman Stavern after Ortiz. So he would be number 3. Dominique would be number 4, and probably Spilka 5. But he did fight. Who was that swole his eye up real bad? Where his eye was all
Duhaupas, Johan Duhaupas.
That was just a good battle for him. Those would be his best wins, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that ain't nothing to write home about.
Right.
except for Ortiz. I mean, he the one with the amateur background, 343 and 19, you know what I'm saying? Southpaw, Cuban. I got a lot of respect for that. But Berman Stavern, I mean, I got a little respect for that. I feel like that was Wilder's best boxing exhibition that he exhibited his skills the best. Stavern won. And Stavern was coming off a knockout win over Chris Arreola. So I will give, matter of fact, he came off of 2 knockout wins over Arreola. So I give Wilder credit on that. So we'll say 1, 2, and 3. But after that, it gets real shaky. Like even having to mention somebody like Brazil, a former football player with no amateur background. You know what I'm saying? Like a literal 0 on my pedigree scale. The fact that we got to mention somebody like that with a top 5 wins, that's not a good sign. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know?
Yeah, that sign right there, that sign shows though that we could label this 2 ways. We could label it uneventful, or we could name it a time of where phenomenal people has showed up at the right moment in the time of their sport. Because for Dominique Brazil to have a zero pedigree as far as amateur go, and to be at the point to be fighting for a title, that has to say a lot. Because he even faced Anthony Joshua.
And got what happened when he fought Joshua?
Well, the same thing happened. He got put to sleep.
It's a sport. It's like you said, it's the era. This dude zero on the pedigree scale, and he going up there fighting for a title. Only in this era. Everything just comes so easy in this era. Like I saw this historian. He talking about how people are comparing Big Baby Anderson to Riddick Bowe. Like,
really?
Man, yeah, he was getting mad about it. I don't understand why he getting mad about people making opinions. Like, it's just their opinion. So he was really upset. I don't think he should have been upset like that. But yeah, people are saying stuff like that. They comparing this man to like an Olympic silver medalist. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that got a hell of a career, man. Riddick Bowe.
It's not bad at all. And he mad about that?
Riddick Bowe. Yeah, he mad because the man ain't done nothing to be compared to Riddick Bowe. Like, there's nothing that this man has done to be compared to Riddick Bowe. Nothing. He don't even have a fight style, Riddick Bowe. Is Riddick Bowe out there switch hitting, going for orthodox and southpaw and all that bullshit that they doing today? I'm telling you, man, that man Jared Anderson, his stock dropped for me in his last fight. I saw old boy come out there putting a lead right hand and coming back with a hook on his ass. That's what I seen. Old boy Anderson, he want to get in the southpaw stance. Old boy knocked his ass out that southpaw stance and made him go orthodox. I put that on everything. In the first round, he came out there. Anderson came out in the southpaw stance. Old boy threw the lead right hand and came back with the hook on his ass and made him get out that southpaw stance and get back in the orthodox stance. Man, hey, man, if you ain't Terrence Crawford, I don't want to see you going southpaw. That's not something that's proven to work in boxing. So no, we can't compare him to no fucking Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe will put hands and feet on Jared Anderson. I mean, square business though, bro. Hey, if you taking Jared Anderson, not you personally, I'm just saying anybody taking Jared Anderson over Riddick Bowe, like just straight up throwing hands. Nah, bro, I got to question your judgment. You know what I'm saying?
Man, because Riddick Bowe could fight.
Could fight like a motherfucker,
fight his ass
man.
off. He was swift of foot and everything.
Man, even fights that I felt like he was losing, he looked better than Jared Anderson. When he was fighting against what's the man that went crazy and hit him with David Galata? Man, he was hitting Galata with all kind of combinations. He just wasn't being consistent enough with it, and Galata was getting off some good work. But you can look at him and tell, like, if this guy was in some good shape, man, you can just tell he got immense ability. I can't give Big Baby Anderson that type of praise, man. Like I'm impressed. I feel like he moved like a light heavyweight or moves like a 168 pounder sometimes. Like he looks very athletic for the weight class. But I just don't have the same type of respect for his skill set, and I don't have the same type of respect for his walk in boxing. This man ain't no Olympian. He ain't no Olympic silver medalist. You know what I'm saying? He ain't fighting the type of competition that Riddick Bowe was fighting for us to have the type of respect for him. Now, when he step up, let's see what happens. I personally don't think he beating Bakhtir Jalaloff and all them did. He might go out there and beat Filip Rogovich or something because Filip Rogovich ain't look that good, but I think it's some dudes that's gonna fuck around and be whooping his ass, especially Jalaloff. I think that's the one that they don't want to see. This man is 6'7". He graceful like a Tyson Fury on his feet, southpaw, long arms, and got power. And he a AIBA world champion. He won a gold and a bronze, and he got a gold medal in the Olympics. They ain't trying to see this dude, bro. 247-17 amateur record. I don't want to forget about that.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
I can't believe that y'all got me having to say Fury name as much as I've been saying in the last couple of weeks. But y'all been putting me in a situation that I can't do nothing but speak the truth. And hey, I haven't seen Fury have a lot of fights. I don't like the dude. I really don't. But history gonna state and label that he was the best heavyweight in this era. Be it because of his sheer size, be it because of his boxing skills or whatever. I don't even know when you sit back and you really look at these crop of fighters. When you say these are the best ones, did they fight the best? Even some of the best ones, you have to look at some of the people they fought and be like, dude, some of those people were a little iffy. And being nitpicky, you could do that with any of them, any other fighters today.
You can do it with some of them in the past too. Nigga, we were having a debate on Joe Louis versus Muhammad Ali, and some of the brothers they felt like Joe Louis, he'll get with Ali when Ali was in his 30s. Because they said that Ali was more stationary, he'll be in front of Joe Louis more. Joe Louis can get with him. I don't think Joe Louis beating over Ali. Joe Louis was great fighter. Don't get me wrong, man. My great grandfather, he loved Joe Louis. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have respect for Joe, but at the same time, like, let's look at who he was beating now. He did have a Bomb in the Month Club. We can't forget about that. The man that he beat for the championship, James J. Brady. I mean, come on. This man was a big ass underdog, 10-1 underdog when he fought against I can't think his name right now, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He fought that man. He was a 10-1 underdog, and it was one of the biggest upsets in boxing history when he went. Maybe not history, but it was a big ass upset when he went out there. I can't think his name right now, man. Fuck, but it was a big upset. Okay, so that's who we won the championship from. Okay, who the dude that went out there and stopped him with the right hand over the jab? That was Max Schmeling. Max Schmeling is not beating Ali, y'all. Max Schmeling is not beating Ali. No version of Ali. I know maybe the old version that was fighting Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick and all that kind of stuff. Maybe he could beat that version, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, Max Schmeling not about to beat no Ali. Okay, let's look at the other guys, man. Rocky Marciano, my opinion, he ain't beating Ali. You know what I'm saying? Jersey Joe Walcott. Don't y'all know that Jersey Joe Walcott fought as a middleweight? Jersey Joe Walcott is not beating Ali. Ezra Charles, man. Ezra Charles is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He beat Charlie Burley twice when he was still in high school. He was 18 and Charlie Burley was 25. I know this man is great, but he's not beating Ali. I'm sorry, he's not beating Ali. Too small. He fought at 160. He ain't beating Ali. These are the type of people that's going out there getting with Joe Louis. Billy Conn. Hey, I got a lot of respect for Billy Conn. I always quote him. Billy Conn say, if you ain't never took a loss by the time you fight for a championship, there's something wrong. He ain't beating Ali, though. I know he didn't beat Joe Louis either, but he went out there and got with Joe Louis for 13 rounds. He ain't getting with no Ali. He ain't gonna be up on the cards against Ali. So that's why I say, like, I got respect for Joe Louis, but just looking at who he was fighting, I'm not super impressed with that shit. I think if Ali fought his schedule, it's a chance that Ali probably would have went undefeated. I think Ali can beat anybody that's on his schedule.
I feel you on that. And if I'm remembering correctly, he and Ali really didn't like each other.
Nah, hell no, they didn't like each other.
He felt like Ali talked too much and was too flashy.
And he called Ali a bum.
But they said, why they have to put Ali in his 30s to face him? Why they just couldn't let the prime for prime go?
Well, they felt like it was prime for prime. Ali got it. Because Ali just too fast, too athletic for him.
Oh, so they wanted to change the dynamics and take something away from Ali in order to give Joe a chance.
Yeah, my thing is the Ali that fought against Foreman, he was 32 years old. That version of Ali, he beating all them dudes, in my opinion. Put Joe Louis in there with a prime George Foreman, because that's what Ali fought when he was 32. He fought George Foreman when he was 26. Put Joe Louis in there with George Foreman and let's see how this shit gonna go. Niggas, man, they better start putting some respect on these people and understand what type of schedule that Ali was going against. Put him in there with Sonny Liston. I'm talking about prime Sonny Liston. Put him in there with prime Joe Louis. Or even put an old Sonny Liston in there with a prime Joe Louis. He might beat Sonny Liston, but it won't be easy. I promise it won't be easy. Put him in there with Joe Frazier. Put him in there with the Thriller in Manila version of Joe Frazier. That shit is not gonna be easy. And the reason I said that is because that's the old Joe Frazier. That was their third fight.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That version of Joe Frazier, the old version, he gonna go out there and get that man hell. So I feel like Ali can beat anybody that Joe Louis fought, but I don't feel like Joe Louis can beat anybody that Ali fought.
Okay, I can roll with you on that. But now I would like to ask the same question. Eric. Let me get to that real quick. I did the last time we had that was Oscar. Okay, actually fought Trinidad. Derek Baby said that, but Eric R said, "Where would a win over Helenius stand?" Meaning for Wilder. What's up, big bro? Ernest Davis in the house, aka Maestro, aka Texas Timbo, Manny Draperlin. What's going on, bro?
Oh, gee, what's up, man?
Eric R say put Joe Louis with old Sonny Liston. He laughing about it, but yeah, well, the same terminology and everything that we just used with Ali and their resumes. Can you flip that around and say, can Terrence and Earl switch places in schedule and still be undefeated?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely know Earl could beat all them guys if they are able to be in the same weight class. Terrence Crawford, I mean, Earl's resume is kind of top heavy. Well, maybe, yeah, I guess you could say top heavy. Like, okay, early on, Earl had that tough fight against the Southpaw that caught him. So that was the one tough test that he had early on. What's his name?
The little African, yeah.
I can't think.
I can't remember his name, but I do know what fight you're talking about.
And then, so later on in his career, he fighting against like, what's that South African motherfucker? Keith Van Heerden.
Van Heerden.
Yeah, I mean he a big welterweight, but he like a C-level fighter for the most. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I didn't really give him a lot of stock.
Yeah. Then Earl fought the Mexican Alejandro something. I can't remember his name. He was catching Earl with the uppercuts though. Earl ended up stopping him in like 5 or 6 rounds. The dude was against the ropes and he was waving to the referee like, man, hey man, come get this nigga. And then I can't think of that other guy's name that Earl beat. We got Chris Algieri. I mean, that's cool. He did go fight a pay-per-view against Pacquiao. That's his number one accomplishment in life, but they ain't really nothing to write home about. I mean, he fought against Danny Garcia. We got Sean Porter. We got Kell Brook. Kell Brook would have been a tough fight for Terrence Crawford. He would have had to dig deep, but I still think it's a chance that he would have won. He should. At the time, though, it would have been the odds would have been close, but I'll probably give a slight edge to Crawford for his ability to make adjustments. I don't think that Kell Brook was the best at making adjustments. Like when he fought against Earl, I felt like Earl made the adjustments and Kell Brook couldn't keep up with the adjustments. And I know that Crawford is a man that makes adjustments, so I would take him over Kell Brook if they was in the same weight class at the same time. Yeah, the hell, who else that motherfucker Earl beat? That's noteworthy.
Is his top names are Kell, Sean, Danny, Mikey. To me, those are his top names.
Yeah, Mikey. I think he beat Mikey. He beat Mikey in the amateurs. What's the Mexican that Earl stopped in one round? Ocampo. I think Ocampo actually would have been a tough fight for Crawford. to be honest. I know it sounds crazy because Earl beat him in 1 round. But Ocampo got a style that kind of remind me of Jose Benavidez, except he ain't got 1 leg. He got 2 legs. He is a big, strong motherfucker. If Earl wouldn't have caught him with that body shot, I think he might have ended up giving Earl a harder fight than what we was anticipating. But I think it's a chance that he could have gave Crawford a tough fight, but I still got to take Crawford for the win, though. You know, Crawford got the amateur background experience over this guy. And then another thing about Crawford, too, that I got to say this. Like, I got him as a 3.5 on the pedigree scale, but he could potentially be higher because he qualified for the Pan American Games, but he wasn't able to go compete because Kenny Porter didn't let him go with the team because he had gotten into some trouble. So
Right.
if he would have went to that tournament and won some fights, that would have put him at a 4. And if he would have medaled, that would have put him at a 4.5. And if he would have won the thing, a gold, that would have put him at a 5. So this man could potentially be a 5. But he didn't get a chance to go prove himself because he got into some trouble. So that give him a little bit of a wild card, a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think he could potentially be undefeated fighting Earl's schedule. It would have been tough though, because there ain't no easy fights. Fighting Sean Porter at the time that Earl fought him. Fight against Kell Brook. Them the main ones. I think he can beat Mikey and Danny Garcia. I
Let's
would
not
just
forget
take him over.
Ugas. We gotta put Ugas in there. I forgot to say Ugas' name. As far as Earl's top best wins, because Ugas stepped in and got the Manny Pacquiao fight, which should have been like I've always felt like Ugas should have been fighting Manny Pacquiao anyway, and the universe just corrected it.
Hey, that's a wild card right there, though. I mean, that is a man that whooped Crawford's ass in the amateurs. Hey, you never know. Maybe he wouldn't have been undefeated fighting that motherfucker, yeah, but I guess as a pro, I would probably have to lean towards Crawford over Ugas, maybe. Who would you pick in that fight if Earl did never fight Ugas and Ugas was fighting against
Ugas
Crawford?
and Crawford fighting?
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I probably would have went with Ugas like I did against Pacquiao. It was just something about Ugas that night. I don't think that. I think he would have beat. I think he would have beat him. I think Ugas would have beat him. I would have picked Ugas because it's the way he fights. I guess I don't know. It's something about the way he fights that I feel like would have made a difference for Crawford.
I mean, you might be right. I mean, he did beat the man 27-10 in the amateurs. I mean, that seemed like that was a puzzle that Crawford couldn't solve. You know, so you might be right. I think for a 12-round fight, though, I think I would probably lean towards Crawford. Wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong, though.
The reason I say that because Ugas did, he got a lot of slack. People say he didn't make the adjustments and stuff like that. But he's one of those fighters to me that strikes me as this is the game plan, and I'm gonna work this game plan. I'm gonna force this game plan to work. And I think with Crawford, because the way Crawford fights is such a different way than Spence, the pressure is different. I think Ugas would have been able to implement it more because it would have gave him more time within the rounds, more time within the fight actually to think and make his moves.
I think that'll get his ass whooped though. Like if he go in there rigid, like this is the game plan, and I'm not gonna deviate at all. This is what we coming to do. You can be in trouble if Crawford figure you out early and you ain't gonna adjust to it. You just gonna do what you've been doing, but do it harder. That could get your ass beat. When you fighting against a master chess player, you got to be able to have some variation. I know Eric Carr be playing that chess and shit. He talking about trades. You need to learn the Queen's Gambit. I don't know all them opening moves, but I know if you play against somebody that know chess, you can't just have one. You got to have several openings that you can come with. And if you're going against a master chess player like Crawford and you only got that Queen's Gambit, and he figured that shit out, nigga, your ass in trouble.
Now this is true. That is true. Man, Eric Carr played chess. I did not know that.
Yeah, I used to play chess. I'm weak as well water.
I haven't been on the board in a minute. It's been some years, and I got 2 boards in the front.
Man, when I was in high school, no, it was middle school. I had won third place in the chess tournament, and I was in GT, right? So like the smartest guy in our class, his name was John Snyder. I knocked him out the chess tournament. That was one of my greatest moments in middle school. Knocking out the smartest dude in the class, and I always get hundreds on everything. Knocked his bitch ass out the tournament and got third. That made me think I knew how to play. So then I went to the county jail, right, for a weed case, a weed charge. And this nigga, this old school nigga tore my ass up off in there, boy. And then I got a partner. He come through our live stream sometime. He call you Gaming Plug. My partner JP from A-Leaf. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, real?
Yeah, that's one of my best friends I ever had.
When I stayed in Houston, that's why I stayed in A-Leaf. I'm from the A-Leaf area.
Yeah. He beat the brakes off me, though. I'm talking about he be slamming pieces. Like we playing spade. Like as soon as I make a move, he pick up his piece and slam that motherfucker to let me know, like, nigga, you just fucked up.
Right.
And I be like, damn, I just don't have nothing.
My career is worthless.
Yeah, Eric always trying to help me. That's why you trying to tell me, like, man, you might need to read a couple of books, you know what I'm saying? Learn the opening moves and all this kind of shit, nigga. I just think I don't have no aptitude for that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Man, shoot. You just gotta be able to see the board. You gotta see the board, vision your moves, vision the possibilities that can come at you, and try to deal with it. Apply pressure when you can. Sometimes you have to withdraw because it's been my cousin taught me how to play, and it would be sometimes he would set traps, had me thinking that I had him set up. He make a couple of moves, and I'm looking like, what? You cheating? Straight up. But yeah. Eric also, what did he say? Oh, he said Keith Thurman might be everyone on Bud's resume too. Is Eric R and Gil Cole's relative? Cause that sounds like something.
What he trying to say, that's how weak his resume is. Talking about Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? See, I mean, basically this is what this is the way I see it. And it seems like Eric R is agreeing with me. It's not a question if top welterweights can beat Terrence Crawford's resume, like Earl Spence or maybe even a Keith Thurman. But it's kind of debatable whether Crawford could beat everybody on Earl Spence's resume at the time that he fought him.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. I didn't let my mind grab the Xavier, the boxing. Who was that?
No, that's Xavier the boxing nerd, man. That motherfucker get on my nerve, but he a youngster. I like him.
Yeah, there he is. He done slid into the house. What's going on with you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right.
I got on your channel from Trey X.
Oh, well, glad you came through. I appreciate it. Let me make this last read. Eric R said, "Yeah, I play the Russian who slammed pieces. I know what you're talking about. Okay, that shit threw me. That shit threw me. Yeah. I guess he say threw me off if you ain't ready."
Yeah. Hey Xavier, I had watched that. I listened to Don Duffy called Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta 4. I thought it was the St. Valentine Day Massacre, but it was part 4. That shit was a player.
Yeah, that was the fourth one. I love that one's on the radio broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I have been searching for some Don Duffy videos. I never thought about just searching for radio broadcasts.
Yeah, I think there's another one from Fritzy Zivic and Armstrong too. That's all on radio broadcast.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go back and check out a lot of them motherfuckers. I had never heard Don Duffy call a fight that long.
Yeah,
you know, he wasn't perfect. He made a couple of mistakes, man. But overall, that was gangster, man.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing them call I think they're calling jabs like the straight lefts.
Yeah. That's the only thing about him.
Straight left.
Yeah, he don't always get specific on the type of punch. Like he might just say a left hand or a right hand. He might not always tell you whether it's a jab, a hook, or a cross or whatever. But still, though,
that fight though is that since we have the 6th, it's a little easier to visualize because you know how they fight.
Yeah,
like when he's talking about when he's talking about the triple left hook from Robinson.
Yeah, and I like how like when a guy get caught with a good punch, the crowd to get behind the fight call, like when he talking, the crowd to swell up in the background and stuff,
Yeah.
because something big happening. I love that shit, man.
Man, with the Zivic fight, the great one about that is you can hear the punches landing.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to
Hear
check
the
that out.
cutting of the body shots, and it's like it really brings you there. It's like it's really like you didn't get this fight on film, but you can imagine it and you can literally hear it.
Have you ever heard the Johnny Saxton versus Carmen Basilio fight
I was
call?
just about to bring that up. The second round knockout, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a short one, but I like because he had a little bit more personality. Like
Yeah.
he's taking awful damage out there, you know.
Yeah. That was a good one because it was really interesting to hear their perspective. It was like you don't always see the punch that gets them out because they didn't have replay back then.
Yeah.
And they didn't really see what punch put Saxton out.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
I mean, the most boring one I ever heard was like Tunney and Dempsey. This dude, I don't know who it was, but it was so bland. I couldn't even listen to that.
I want to check it out though.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure it'd be much more interesting for you since you do the calling of fights and stuff. But
yeah,
that
I'm
one
gonna
was
check that out.
like, really hard for me to listen to. But it's interesting because like there's this Joe Louis fight, Al Mello, I think. That's
Never
on.
heard of him.
It's on film, but there's also a radio broadcast, and they were talking about how there were like 100 mosquitoes in the arena and everything.
Oh, okay.
That's miserable.
Yeah.
Counselor Brown said you guys dropped the link for those radio calls. Somebody is interested and want to know how to listen.
I dropped one in the Discord one time. They came back talking shit.
Why?
Yeah.
What were they saying about it?
No, they were just saying that they were comparing Don Dunphy to me, and they were basically saying like I'm more for the hip hop type of crowd, so they can relate to me more than Don Dunphy instead of appreciating Don Dunphy, because that's the reason that I posted it, because to show everybody how good he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my man. You see, I still got him in my fucking avatar every time I do my live stream. That's Don Dunphy right there, the young version.
You have to appreciate the history. You know, I feel like that's what a lot of people are not doing anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got some trivia coming up. I already got 60 questions. I was just waiting to get my new headphones in. But I went back to the history, man. I told myself I'm just gonna have to deal with y'all historians coming in there complaining. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna put it down, and I'm just gonna be open for correction, and just go with it, because I do have an appreciation and a love for history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always funny whenever I bring up that thing about Joe Brown. I'm not even trying to give you shit for it. It's like you put me on Joe Brown more than anything, because I'd known about him, but when you talk about the title defenses, I had to kind of look it up because I was a little iffy on it, and then I realized I looked at it was 11. It was different from what you had, but that inspired me like do his whole record and put it on Wikipedia. I hadn't done that one yet, and you put Joe Brown more than anything really. And like whenever I bring that up, you're always like thinking I'm giving you shit because the title defense was wrong.
Yeah, it's 11 title defenses, right?
Yeah. I think you had 8, and then it was.
I had 8. Yeah, you're right, and that's what I gotta humble myself. Not even humble, because I feel like I'm humble, but I have to get out my own way and stop getting frustrated, because like the reason that I'm doing this shit is so we can all learn. So you went back and corrected me, and now I know that Joe Brown had 11 title defenses. I know that because you corrected me, and that is the point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I appreciate you, man. But at the same time, when you down there typing, I can't hear. Like it's hard to really understand where we coming from, because I'm talking and you typing.
And also, like the other thing is, I've kind of changed a lot in the last couple of years, and just the way I approach the sport. And I was much more like headstrong, I guess, or whatever. Just like it's one way. And I've felt a lot more open to things, and I'm just like a lot more relaxed about it now. Like I was really into the lineal stuff, and then I kind of realized it doesn't matter at all. And I'm more interested in tracking the titles and the fights themselves. So it's like I hadn't been on in a while. It's like you just see the same like 20-year-old kid. Like that was like 4 years ago now.
Yeah, but this dude right here know a lot, OG. I think he got like two trivia titles on our channel.
Oh, okay. This is one of the guys that be getting all the answers real fast.
Oh yeah.
Just listening to him, he sounds like he devours the knowledge of boxing. Just listening to him.
He like I would say he probably either number 2 or number 3 pound for pound with the people that done came through. I gotta say Lawrence Williams number 1 because ain't nobody ran through him like he has, and I have got a chance to see you and him go head to head, and he had more points.
He got a really deep knowledge and understanding of stuff like 1970s to present.
All around, present day.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. Like he's all around, but I've noticed that like he really has like the 70s and on down, and it kind of like caters towards the questions you do because like some of the questions that I'm thinking about aren't things that you're gonna ask because like I get into like random nobodies. Like a record I'm working on right now is Patrick Killen. I've never heard of this guy before. He was fighting in the 1800s, and he went 55-2-3, and he's fought no notable fighters. And I'm just doing it because it's interesting, but like I'm working on like a lot of old things. Like I don't really watch fights that are in color unless it's for a very specific reason anymore.
What decade in the 1800s did the dude fight?
Oh man, let's see. He was born in 61. It was crazy. Okay. No newspaper decisions. It was in the 1880s.
So he was basically having that many fights fighting under the revised London prize rules.
Yeah.
That's crazy because most of them dudes, they only be having like 10 or 15 fights for their whole career. And he had, what'd you say, 55, 3-2 or something like that?
Yeah, he had 60 fights. I think he had one no contest or a couple at least.
That's a bunch of goddamn fights to be fighting, especially to be fighting bare knuckle.
Yeah, some of the fights they had gloves like 2 ounce, but it's like
mufflers.
Bare knuckle.
Yeah, those are those mufflers that Jack Brockton came up with, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But they ain't like real gloves, though.
No. even by like 1910, they weren't using real gloves like we now at least.
Yeah.
Even Joe Louis, like 3 ounce gloves. It says here in 1887.
Yeah, even Sugar Ray Robinson was using 6 ounce gloves.
Yeah.
When he was fighting, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Motherfucker was tough back then.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh. Jump in the chat, OG. I ain't mean for us just to take over.
Oh, no, it's just sitting right there. The last thing somebody said was Joseph Brown when he said y'all dropped the link for the radio calls.
Oh, yeah. The Zivik Armstrong.
Yeah, so they could be able to check, so he can check him out. Like, heck, I'm interested myself. I'm gonna go and listen to some of these radio things and see what's going on.
No, it's really play, OG, man. I get on that weed, man, and I get to chilling, man, and just be visualizing that shit on my mind, like picturing myself back in the 40s or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that shit.
No, I'm gonna get a chance to listen to it because I know you said that you know your favorite guy who called fights is from that era. So I want to see. I want to go back in there and just check out what it is that you like because you know you got so many people that's fans of you. I'm going back and see what it is that got you so hooked like that.
Your favorite fighter's favorite fighter.
Eric Arce, this sounds like Dr. Doom and Mr. Fantastic having a conversation on boxing.
Nah, I give Xavier his props when it comes to his lane. I ain't fucking with Xavier when it comes to that shit. He know way more about their lineage and the titles and shit. I don't even be giving a damn, really. Like, I might come in and I might say, Harry Greb, he was the light heavyweight champion. And this motherfucker come back and say, nah, he was the American light heavyweight champion. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the reason why he's called light heavyweight champion is because he offered to fight George Carpentier for like $100,000 and he turned it down. So they just claimed the title. It was right after title claim, so his manager just claimed that they were the champion. So it kind of goes down half-ish as a championship, but not really. It's like in that gray area of the late 1910s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Who would you say your favorite fighter of all time? You ain't got no favorite fighter.
man, that's been such a hard thing for me to figure out. Recently, I've been really liking Ezra Charles, but like Jamie McLaurin, I mean, he's in my Jamie McLaurin and Barney Ross. This is their second fight on my picture, but like it's really hard because there are just so many fighters that I just love their style. And then there are like some like Jose Napoles. I never really watch him, but he's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, he beat Marcos twice, man. Marcos with Curtis Coates.
Man, yeah. Curtis Coates
Yeah,
gained a
yeah.
lot more respect for him as time has gone on. I always knew he was a great fighter. It's just like as time's gone on, and I've stopped giving so much of a shit about the lineage. It's like Emil Griffiths was a welterweight champion. Then he went up
man.
fought a court case. He lost, so he was stripped. But he went down and then lost to Napoles. And I always looked at that's where the lineage continued. But it's like it doesn't really matter that much.
I look at like more about how many Hall of Famers you beat and stuff like that.
I've been going more into that recently.
It wasn't what's that guy name that you just said, the gay dude? What's his name?
Griffith.
Emil Griffin. Wasn't he undisputed in 3-weight classes?
No, he was 3-time welterweight champion. He was undisputed at welterweight and middleweight, and he was 2-time middleweight champion.
Okay.
But the 3-weight classes, I forgot them. Light middleweight was like a new invention. He didn't hold any of the belts or whatever. It was just the Australian Board of Boxing recognized him as the first world light middleweight champion.
Well, this dude Harlan was telling me that he holds some kind of significant
He's the
record.
second 3-time welterweight champion in the history of the sport. Jack Brennan was the first.
It was something beyond that though, because it seemed like he told me he was like a 6-time champion or something like that.
He's probably referring to like 3 times welterweight. Then you have middleweight 1, so that's 4, and then middleweight again because he lost to what's his name?
Carlos Monzon.
That's 5, but he's counting the light middleweight.
Okay.
Board. So that'd be 6.
Okay.
Just with the sanctioning bodies, it's 5. You add the light middleweight new division kind of eking its way in, that's 6.
I got you.
But he's definitely got historical significance with like pioneering a division.
Yeah. I might be with you with Ezra Charles though, man. He's one of my favorites too. Archie Moore is very lucky that he decided to go to heavyweight, because if he would have stayed at light heavyweight, I think it would have been tough on Archie Moore. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would have got the shine that he got, because I definitely think that Ezra Charles could beat Gus Lesnovich.
But I don't think he would have gotten the fight. He was rated number 1 at light heavyweight for a while.
Ezra Charles was a bad man. Gus Lesnovich didn't want no smoke, I don't think.
Honestly, I feel like if Ezra hadn't gone up to heavyweight, what would have most likely happened is Archie Moore gets his shot, he wins, and he gives Ezra a 4th fight, and Ezra probably beats him, and that's how he probably would have ended up becoming champion. But that's just speculation.
Yeah, it's speculation. It is what it is.
That aren't going to duck the people that are. The white champions weren't going to fight Ezra at light heavyweight.
Yeah, they ain't want it. Shout out to Joey Maxim, though. How many times he fought? About 6 times? Maxim got out there with him.
5, 6, 5 is a lot.
Yeah, Joey Maxim got out there with a lot of them, though. Shit, you got to give him his respect. I respect motherfuckers like that fight them all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even someone like Lisa Vold. He doesn't
know a lot about him
because he had the British boxing board of control recognize him as heavyweight champion, but it wasn't like Ezra was the champion, so he doesn't really get a lot of respect for that. But I just did his record on Wikipedia from BoxRec, and that one, he fought everyone. He didn't have a great record statistically, but he had some good wins, and he wasn't a bitch. Put it that way.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Jimmy McLaurin. Well, I don't feel about him as far as the win, because he was winning.
Oh yeah, Jimmy McLaurin, and oh my God!
But he had one of the deepest schedules. That's what I like about him. Like if you look at that stretch, I don't know the years, but he had a stretch where he was fighting Hall of Famers.
He only fought rated Hall of Famers, rated contenders, Hall of Famers, or champions for his last 24 or 25 fights.
Yeah, he went on a hell of a stretch, man.
Didn't beat, and that was Burliard. Split decision loss. They didn't have another fight. They only fought once. But all the other guys he held a win over. Ray Miller, he stopped him. He stopped McLaurin in after the sixth corner retirement. But McLaurin beat him, and Ray Miller was actually on the cover of a Ring magazine. And there's a little bit of film of him. He wasn't a bad fighter. It's like he's just one of those forgotten guys. Like he doesn't have a Wikipedia article. People aren't going to talk about him, but he might actually deserve a place in the Hall of Fame if you look at it hard enough, like for long enough. Like you really understand. Like Lou Scoza, that's a guy that like why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? Or like Willie Joyce. Why isn't Willie Joyce especially? Like he beat Ike Williams, Henry Armstrong.
What about Jack Blackburn, though? I think Jack Blackburn.
Yeah, he's in there as a trainer. That's the other one that always kills me.
Yeah, they need to get him in there.
Then I don't feel like they're ever going to put him in there because he's in there as a trainer.
Yeah, but shit, it is what it is. He was fighting some bad motherfucker back in his day.
Yeah, he beat Joe Gans. If you credit the newspaper decisions, he beat him when he was undefeated. When Blackburn was undefeated, he beat Joe Gans.
What I just have a question. What would cause him to not be getting into the Hall as a boxer?
Well, I feel like he had a bad losing streak near the end. I think he may have shot himself in the hand. I'm probably mixing that up with Walter.
No, yeah, I was about to say that's Barbados.
Yeah, but there was something that kept him out of the ring, and he came back, was on a bad losing streak. That's when he lost to Harry Greb, and I feel like mainly it's just he had a bad ending to his career, and he's in there as a trainer.
I think he shot a man over a woman and went to jail, went to prison.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, he shot a motherfucker.
Yeah, he was in jail for a while. He came back, had a bad losing streak, lost to Greb. And like he's in there as a trainer. I feel like they're probably going to be prioritizing other fighters over him. Like Todd Morgan just got in. And I don't know about his career, but I've got to get to that soon.
I read a book about Jersey Joe Walcott. A lot of people say that Jack Blackburn left Jersey Joe Walcott high and dry to go train Joe Louis. And I read in this book that he actually wanted Walcott to accompany him to New York. But when they was getting ready to leave, Jersey Joe Walcott fell ill and he was bedridden for some significant time. And by the time he was able to move around, Jack Blackburn had to leave because he had to go get the money. Because that's the reason why him and Jack Blackburn and Jersey Joe Walcott, they got close to each other because both of them were down on their luck. And when Jack Blackburn, when he got the news about Joe Louis, they was like, hey man, we gonna pay you. Like I can't even remember how much it was. It didn't sound like a bunch of money though, I swear. It was like $15 a week or some shit. It was something crazy, like a low number, but he was happy to get it though. And he was telling them, like, hey man, I'm making this amount of money per week. Come with me, man. I might be able to get you some fights. But he ended up getting sick. So that made me look at him a little different because people were pretty much saying like he a scoundrel and he left the man high and dry, but he really didn't. He tried to get the man to go with him. He just got sick and couldn't go.
Man, I didn't even know that he was associated with Walcott.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he trained Jersey, not Jersey. Who did I say? Yeah, that Jersey Joe Walcott. I got mixed up when I heard you say it, but yeah, he trained Jersey Joe Walcott. Yeah,
it's funny, like he fought near the era of Barbados Joe, and he trained in the era of Jersey Joe.
Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick. Eric R. say, don't mistake the lack of typing in the chat as us not listening. I'm just taking it all in, this level of history and information. Yeah, you guys are really, y'all dropping some jewels. Y'all put out some stuff that it never even crossed my mind. Armin Brown 09 has fell into the house. What's up, sis? She say, hey, family at Trey X, MZ, panelists, chat, mobs, blessings.
That's my Amazon angel. What's up? Oh, yeah, she just got back from vacay, too. She made it back safe and sound. She went to Puerto Rico after having a good time, eating all kind of great-looking Caribbean food and having some fun. But she did take time to go to a fucking Church's Chicken in Puerto Rico. I thought that was crazy as hell. You in Puerto Rico, what the hell you going to Church's Chicken for? But she had fun. She went parasailing. She was showing all of this on YouTube. She was dropping little posters and videos and stuff showing herself on the beach and all that. So she had a good time. She made it back safely though. So what's up to my Amazon angel?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's freaking great. Awesome. I wanted to jump out the plane with my kids. They wouldn't let me do it. They wouldn't have jumped out. I was mad to the mug. They wouldn't let me jump.
Oh hell no. I got acrophobia like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna even lie.
Ernest Day, big bro say, he says he's speaking to Almond Brown. Everybody speaking, keeping it good. She say, gotta get my chicken from everywhere I go.
Yeah, but don't go to Puerto Rico and get no church's chicken though, man. Come on.
Puerto Rico part of everywhere.
Yeah, you them criollos and all that, whatever that shit was called.
So, Xavier, the boxing, what is it? Xavier the Boxing Nerd? Because it's not fully out on mine.
Yeah, got Xavier the Boxing Nerd as my pseudonym name.
Okay. How long have you been interested in boxing, sir?
Since 2017.
He proud to say that. I knew he was gonna say that with his chest neck out far. Because he ain't been involved with this sport that long, but he can make average sport boxing fans look silly with his knowledge.
Right.
Because he ain't been fucking with this. He got into this sport because he liked Harry Potter, and one of the actors from Harry Potter got into MMA.
Yeah, it was a combination of like that. One of the Harry Potter actors doing
Which
MMA
one?
and seeing Floyd Mayweather, because that got them boxing stuff into. I got combat sports into my recommendations on YouTube. I saw that defensive highlight of Floyd Mayweather, and I was blown away because I'd never seen anything like that in my life before. I didn't even really know boxing was still around.
And look, so now if you go to Wikipedia or something,
oh god,
and you read some information that happens to be correct, it might be a chance that this motherfucker's the reason why it's right. Because he be off in there correcting the shit.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the title of Muhammad Ali, the New York State title is in there because of me. I found research from that, and the help of another YouTuber put me on that. I found the information, I put it in there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so the motherfucker gets on my nerves, but I gotta say that he's a hell of a boxing fan. You know what I'm saying?
You ever notice if you're looking at those records how there aren't flags anymore?
How they what?
You ever looked around those records and seen that there aren't flags anymore on the Wikipedia records?
I ain't never noticed no flag.
They were there, and it was horrible. People on Wikipedia, like I ended up being this huge thing talking to like a lot of other editors about boxing Wikipedia, and they've been working on this for 7 years to get rid of these flag icons next to the names. And I finally got it done like last year.
Wow!
I never even noticed that. What was the purpose of the flags?
To show nationality. Not every fighter has nationality though, and that's not really important. Some people are colorblind. Some people are visually impaired. There's who's the guy that Caleb Plant is fighting next?
Andre Durrell.
He still has his flags on. I'm gonna go in there and change it soon, but I don't really care about his record that much. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, just look at Caleb Plant compared to Durrell's records on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's some information to use and know.
Yeah, and like I've worked on, I don't even know how many records. I worked on so many. I only keep track of the ones where I either completely redo a record or start it from scratch. And I've got over 300 of those records and 30,000-ish fights, 36,000-ish fights that I've done. Over 100 Hall of Fame records I've worked on. I did Sam Langford's.
Yeah, see, a lot of people might not think that shit a big deal, but that's really a service to the boxing community that he put down. Yeah.
Copy and paste something from Primo Carnero's record that I had done the day he won the championship. I saw on Instagram they copy and pasted from Wikipedia because it was exactly how I wrote it. All the titles.
Yeah, shit, that's good shit though. I mean, it might not be good shit to you, but if a motherfucker is able to copy paste something that's correct,
yeah,
I mean that's good.
Big.
Yeah, that's good for the community.
That's big.
Of all
Let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, we got Xavier the Boxing Nerd right here on MZ Talks Boxing by way of Trey X. He wouldn't even know my show existed if it wasn't for Trey X. So I appreciate that 100%. Almond Brown 09 say the chicken tasted just like it did in Florida.
So what's the purpose of getting that shit then?
I guess she had to find out.
Yeah, I understand. It was her curiosity. I'm really just fucking with her, you know what I'm saying? I'm just glad that she had fun and made it back safe. But they had some complications on the way back, you know what I'm saying? Like a 2-3 hour trip ended up taking 6-7 hours, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Eric R said, I'm mad as off that 2017 bull. Hey man, this man here just seems to be devouring knowledge. And this is a good thing for like Trey said, it's a great thing for boxing fans that somebody young and energetic about what he's doing, changing records, making sure that people getting the right information off of boxers, period, the sports that we claim to love and we enjoy watching. Hey, my hat goes off to you 100 times, young man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, real shit.
And I've started doing more than just the records. I've been trying to repair old fights and put it on my channel. So like McLarnin versus Benny Leonard. That one was the only other version of it is a recolorized version that's sped up because the way they kept the films, it's sometimes sped up faster than it should be. So I put a timer to it, slowed it down, put it in black and white, and put it on my channel.
Man, I'm gonna have to go check that out, man.
What's the name of your channel? Let everybody know. Put the link in the description so those who aren't subscribed, feel free. Please go subscribe because this man is saying some stuff that sounds so interesting. Please put your information in the chat.
Oh yeah, I put my name there. It's just Xavier the Boxing Nerd.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I only saw Benny Leonard fight Luke Tendler, so I definitely want to go check out the McLarnin fight. But McLarnin beat him though, right?
Yeah, but he dropped McLarnin in the second. Well, it wasn't counted, but it would have been today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, it's really annoying. I spent so much time working on that fight, getting rid of, like, you know how when you watch a fight, sometimes they'll start and then go back a little bit, has those extra frames?
Right.
Yeah.
Like deja vu.
I took almost all of them out, but at the beginning of the 6th round, which is the last round, it's there, and I'm like, damn it. I don't want to delete it and re-upload it because it's getting some views. It's got people on there, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, don't worry about that shit, bro.
But I mean, I fixed it for my own personal library, but just one of those things that just gets at me.
Yeah, don't worry about that shit, man. The people are already coming and giving you some engagement. Don't even worry about that shit.
Yeah, there's just like kind of thing where you have to, like, at a certain point, just accept that you can get better and just don't focus on one thing for so long. Like, you drive yourself crazy doing things like that on anything. If you're working so hard to make something perfect, there's a certain point where you just have to accept that it's like most people wouldn't even do half of what. There's so many YouTube videos, like people making just like so many like documentaries or whatever. They've got mistakes in them too. The ones with like millions of views. I'm sure there are things that those uploaders would want to change if they could just change it without re-uploading.
Yeah.
Man, leave that sauce the way it is, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just subscribed. The punch that killed Patrick Day.
Wait, what?
No, I'm looking at some lineups that's up under your name, but Xavier the Boxing Nerd, yeah, I just subscribed to you.
Yeah,
All right.
going to graves and making videos there too.
Yeah. We going to the graves and shit.
Yeah,
he definitely know his shit.
Yeah, Harry Greb is buried 2 hours from me.
Yeah.
So I went there on the day that 100 years after he beat Gene Tunney and made a video.
You know what, man? I was thinking about Harry Greb the other day. Because you know he died when he was young. How old when he died? About 26?
I think, yeah, 25, 26.
And look, he had a bunch of fights, man. He had, what was it, 1919? He had 45 fights, right?
Yeah, 45 fights.
And then he had another year he went 34-3. So like I'm just saying, like he having all of these fights in a short amount of time.
And you
And
want to talk about a short amount of time? He's one of 7 fighters in the history of the sport that I've found that in one calendar month has 1 win over 2 separate Hall of Famers. He beat Mickey Walker in July of 1924. Later that month, like 2 weeks later, he beat Maxie Rosenblum.
Mickey Walker didn't want no smoke though. He had to fake like he was drunk in public to get the Mickey Walker fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is the volume that he had, it reminded me of like Kobe Bryant, for example. They said that Kobe Bryant would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day and just go hard. They said that him and Karan Butler, when he signed the deal, he told Karan Butler, "Hey man, you ready to black out?" And Karan was like, "What the fuck is that?" And they went to the gym and was blacking out, nigga, because they were working so hard. But like it was all basketball all the time. When I see stuff like that, it kind of make me feel like it's like the universe knows that they ain't got that much time to be here. They are here for this reason, and that's what they gonna put down. Like they were talking about the volume that the great Mexican fighter was putting together in his career, Salvador Sanchez. Like he was having some volume for his time. You know what I'm saying? So like other people too that have done things like Juice WRLD, the rapper. He was putting out a lot of freestyles, like a lot of music, go long on the freestyle. This nigga freestyle for like 2 hours straight. It's like when I see people like that, it don't surprise me when they die early. It's like they came to do what they was supposed to do, and that's what they was here for.
You know, it made me think of a jazz musician, Clifford Brown. Died when he was 25 in a car crash. And he's one of the most prolific trumpet players in jazz history. And he was only recorded for 4 years.
What about the guitar player? Jimi Hendrix or something like that. Yeah. He was young when he died.
I didn't realize he died in his 20s until the other day.
Right.
Yeah. These dudes, they put out so much material in such a short amount of time. It's just that's amazing to me that I just see that similarity across different genres of entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. When you really look at it, yeah, you can draw a correlation between them all, because there's been a lot of young musicians that were taken away. People say they were just gone too young. Some actors as well and actresses. Big Bro say he making Lil Bro pull his game out.
I ain't in no competition, man. Hey, see, this is one of the things, man. Like Xavier the boxing nerd, I'm one of the reasons why everybody know he bad. Because I'm the motherfucker that take time and put together 100 trivia questions so everybody can come through and answer them. Same thing with Lawrence Williams. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker come through winning my tournaments and shit that I'm putting together with me and Marlo. That's how people be knowing. So now I don't feel no kind of
How Marlo doing? I haven't heard his voice.
I'm kind of worried about him a little bit. I ain't gonna even lie, because I have never, like, I reached out to him the other day and he didn't respond to me because I told him to put out the new schedule and he didn't respond to me. He ain't never done that, and I know that he left a poster saying that he had some shit that he had to handle at home and we didn't have a live stream.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah. So since then, the energy been kind of like different, like his timing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
He kind of got me a little worried about him a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm hoping that he'll hit me up tomorrow or something and just he been busy or something.
Yeah, I hope everything going good with him.
But he has literally never ever not responded to one of my messages. So, and he has literally never not released a new schedule. Like he always released a new schedule. I don't even have to ask him to do that. He do that on his own. But he didn't release a schedule this time.
He must be super busy.
Shit, man. I hope that's all it is. That my boy just busy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. He busy. He just real busy. That's all. Nothing bad.
Man. But yeah, man, I don't feel no kind of competition or no kind of threatening presence or nothing like that. I really like when I can sit down and learn something And at the same time, I like when I can talk my shit and motherfucker know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what bro. That's what bro getting at. He's saying that you having a conversation where you pulling out your game. When he say that, it's not competition wise. He's saying that
I got you. I got it. I feel you.
yeah, you can sit down and have a conversation about something and have a real full blown conversation about it, and it
Yeah.
stay interesting and on level between two participants or more.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, everybody can't chop it up with Xavier about that shit. I got you.
Yeah, but shoot, like I said, I'm subscribed. I am going over to the channel. I'm gonna check out some stuff because you piqued my interest. I can't explain it. For a lot of things with me when I deal with people, it's the cadence and how they sound, it's the rhythm of their voice that gets me to talk to them or deal with them. If the rhythm of your voice and your cadence is off to me, I really won't mess with you. And I don't know if that's because of when I do music or what, but I do know that depending on how you sound, I won't mess with you.
I didn't really mention it, but I'm also a musician.
Wow.
I ain't know that. What'd you play?
Saxophone.
Really?
Saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. I'm not gonna go into it, but on so many levels, that's big. You know, my brother just introduced us pretty much to a saxophonist that's gonna be working on a song for us.
Oh man, that's great. I'm so happy to hear that you have a lot. Man, the thing that kills me about so much modern music is these people have great melodies, but they just use the MIDI. I'm just like, if you just got like one guy, it would sound so much richer because the sound of a brass instrument, because like saxophone is brass, it's a woodwinds, but it is made of brass.
Right.
The sound is so rich compared to a tinny computer from the MIDI. It's just something that I feel like a lot of people today miss out on, even big artists that I've heard. Like they have like great ideas, like for say like a trombone and trumpet, but if they just did MIDI and my ears just like hear it and it just makes me a little sad. Whereas like it would just be so much fuller if they just had a couple musicians and just took a tiny. It's not even an L really because it shouldn't be an L to pay musicians to make your music richer.
No, that's not an L at all. That's not an L at all. So to hear you, to hear you, okay, I get the connection now. So yeah, glad to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I don't know shit about no instruments, I ain't gonna lie. But when I listen to the old jazz, like Sugar Ray Robinson days, when they be training in the gym and Scrapbook be playing the type of music when he be making his videos, he had that smooth
way like 3 years ago, he was putting like it was great music, but it just felt off. It was like 70s and 80s stuff on 1920s, and I told him like, why don't you consider like putting on the music from that era? And it just changed it.
I think it did too. I like his videos a lot more now, but my favorites be the tunes with that saxophone on it.
Just sitting at the era, whatever is going on in that era, it works so well. Like you're watching do something about like Aaron Pryor. He's got that funk.
Right.
It's a lot harder than funk over Henry Armstrong.
Yeah. I feel you. I like that jazz back with Sugar Ray and Henry Armstrong though. I like that shit on them videos.
Like that's what's going on there. It just makes the most sense. And like Archie Moore in particular, his favorite music was jazz saxophone.
Yeah, he used to hire people to play the saxophone while he trained.
Yeah, and Ezra Charles played bass. He would go to jam sessions in New York. He knew the jazz people out there, and the Aesthetics. That's this jazz album. I can't remember his name, but in the late 50s, some guy came out with it because he knew him. Because Ezra Charles would play bass, go to jam sessions in New York. He knew like the blues singers, like Dinah Washington. He would just hang out with them. There's some pictures of him with them too.
Oh, I ain't even know that. I got an Ezra Charles book, and they ain't even mentioned that shit. I didn't know that.
I just learned that recently.
Yeah, learn something new every day.
Now you're gonna make me go and listen to some Count Basie tonight.
Oh man, yeah. Basie. That was one of my dad's favorites. That was one of the first people he put me on, Count Basie.
My mom liked Count Basie, but she was heavy into the blues. Albert King, Howlin' Wolf, B.B. King. She had the 8-track tapes. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know the 8-track tape.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Xavier. That's some ancient stuff.
that's old school, like your pop's father, right
Yeah,
there.
you're gonna have to look that up and see what I'm talking about, the contraption that I'm talking about. But
Wait, what'd you say it's called?
Huh?
What'd you say it's called?
It's an 8-track tape.
Yeah, that's before my time too. Really,
I've heard it. I just may not realize it.
Right.
you done heard the name before. You just ain't never seen one.
Yeah.
Seen now, yeah, because that shit before my time. You know, I'm older. How old are you? You say you about 23, right?
What?
How old are you? About 23?
24.
24, yeah. So yeah, that's what this way before your time, man.
Whoa. Man, I found this Tiger Flowers, Reverend J.M. Gates, Tiger Flowers' last fight. This is a music thing from something music about Tiger Flowers. It's hard. I can't remember. I can't really think of the right genre. But just look up Tiger Flowers music. It's the third thing.
Tiger Flowers.
Yeah.
You talking about the fighter?
Yeah, the fighter. It's this music. This guy recorded this music thing about Tiger Flowers. They sang about Tiger Flowers in the 20s.
Damn.
Reverend J.M. Gates, Tiger Flowers' last fight.
Yeah. Damn. I'm gonna check that shit out.
Aesthetics, George Russell.
The Georgia Deacon and the Mysterious Death of. You say it's the third one. Theodore Tiger Flower middleweight champion after Jack Johnson.
Maybe it's just coming up because I've looked it up. Type in Rev J.M. Gates, Tiger Flowers.
First black middleweight champion. Also the first black southpaw middleweight champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think was he the first southpaw?
Black southpaw, because he was the first black middleweight champion, period.
I think there might have been another southpaw. I think Al McCoy was a southpaw, wasn't he?
He was a middleweight champion before Tiger Flower?
Yeah.
I thought Tiger Flowers was the first black middleweight champion.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about southpaws. He's a white one. No.
Oh, yeah, that's why I say black southpaw.
I was just thinking about southpaws.
Yeah, I got you.
Was Al McCoy a southpaw?
I don't even know nothing about him, bro. I'm going to be real with you.
He's not the greatest fighter I've ever read about. Yeah, he was a southpaw.
That's what, you know what, that's interesting that you say that, because that's what I told myself. I say I'm gonna learn about the good fighters first, because people be having all this knowledge about all these fighters, and some of them don't even be that good. I just said, man, fuck it, I'm just gonna put my time on the ones that's good first, and then I'll go back and fill in the cracks later on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I completely understand it. The thing about Al McCoy that made him so obnoxious is that he won the championship on a first round knockout, and then he never actually had official fights. And he only had newspaper decisions in his title defenses, and he lost all of them or drew. And he only finally lost when Mike O'Dowd knocked him out.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing where he was holding up the division for 3 years.
Yeah. Mike O'Dowd.
Oh, he was a great fighter.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about him, but I recognize the name, though.
Have you seen any film of Mike O'Dowd?
Nah.
There's film of him and Mike Gibbons on YouTube.
Okay. Him and Mike Gibbons, huh?
Yeah. It's the only one or two videos of Mike Gibbons in the ring, and it's the only one of Mike O'Dowd.
Yeah. Gibbons, he wasn't the St. Paul Phantom. Who was the St. Paul?
Yeah, that was Gibbons, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
St. Paul Phantom.
Yeah, okay.
He was great, man.
Yeah.
I tried to make a video, but things got messed up there. But I did go to his grave in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he's have you ever heard of his son, Jack Gibbons?
I heard of Tommy Gibbons, his brother, but not his son.
Yeah, Mike Gibbons had a son, Jack Gibbons. He was buried there too, and He was a heavyweight in the 30s. He actually like had like a 38-0 record at one point.
Yeah, 38-0.
Yeah, yes, 57-5-1 was his final record, but he wasn't a bad fighter.
Yeah, that ain't a bad record.
No, let's see. He lost to Fred Lenhart in his first loss. Saying he was 55-0-2 before he had his first defeat.
What did you tell me about that Pete Rudemaker dude? Was he the first person to fight for a championship in his
First
his
fight?
debut?
He's the only one.
I read about another fighter that fought for a championship in his debut. That's what made me think about that.
What weight class?
Huh?
Do you know what weight class that happened at?
I can go get that. I don't know. I'm gonna find the name real quick. A second.
I know there's some people that got in their second fight, and there might be like some. I don't know of any insignificant ones that had a title fight in their first bout, other than Rodemaker. I was just looking at his record recently. It wasn't that bad for what he was.
Hey, what was he?
Pete Rodemaker?
Yeah.
Hey, it was Jack Scully.
Jack Scully.
Yeah, I got that from Scrapbook. I put it in the trivia for my next trivia. I got Jack Scully as the first one to do it, and then the second one to do it, Pete Rodemaker.
Who did he fight? Did he Scrapbook tell you?
I don't remember, man.
I found it. It was George Dixon.
Okay, so that would be true.
Yeah.
Oh, boom! There it is. You just learned something.
1892. Wow.
You just learned something.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be on the trivia, huh?
It is. Remember it. Write it down. Take a picture, nigga. It's gonna be on there.
Eric all say only Givens I know is Robin. Can't stand the blame. Boy, I tell you.
Oh, man. You gotta look up the Givens brothers. They're both Hall of Famers.
They were fighting good fighters back in the day too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tommy Gibbons he beat Harry Greb with an undefeated record.
Yeah.
Man, Tommy Gibbons, his record. Wow. Yeah, he broke 50-0. He went 51-0-4 unofficially.
Yeah. That's a
I'm
bad
gonna get
motherfucker.
this Tiger Flowers. I'm gonna watch this. I'm sorry I had went blank for a second because I was over here checking him out.
Tiger Flowers won the championship from Harry Greb. And one reason that people love Harry Greb so much is because Harry Greb protected him when he was trying to leave town with the title because people wanted to hurt him. So Harry Greb escorted him personally to the train station so he can get on the train and leave town safely. He would give opportunities to black fighters, man, like a lot of them wouldn't. He fight people like Kid Norfolk and stuff like that. That's the guy that hurt his eye.
Yeah,
which led to him his death actually. Well, maybe not to his death, but it led to him going blind.
Yeah.
So but Harry Greb is ranked very, very highly on most historians all time lists. Like most time I see him like number 2 behind Sam Langford.
Yeah, I've gotten like 2 or 3. I've got Sam Langford 1, Robinson, and Greb. Not sure the order, but.
Yeah, the order don't even matter.
Yeah, honestly.
Armstrong was bad too. How many title defense he had at welterweight? By 18?
Who? Armstrong?
Yeah.
19.
19 title defenses. He's a bad motherfucker too, man.
They had 5 title defenses in October of 1939.
Yeah.
In 1 month.
Yeah.
That
fighting good people.
I mean, I've seen some people try to tear his record apart because that wasn't and say it's over exaggerated. Like, it's the truth. He had 5 title defenses in October of 39. They weren't the best, but he beat Hall of Famers in his reign. Pedro, he beat him after having fought previously that month in a title fight, and Montana's is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Lou Ambers, he beat
he beat him for the lightweight title and then lost. And
he lost in the rematch.
Fight, but that wasn't at welterweight.
I think he was the last guy to beat Barney Ross.
Yeah. Last guy to fight Barney Ross for that.
Yeah. What's the name of the dude he beat for the featherweight title?
Cerrone, Petey Cerrone.
Petey Cerrone.
And that's
Petey
an
Cerrone.
interesting situation because when you look at the lineage of the New York title, he was already really the champion of that half of the title.
Yeah. He probably should have beat the guy from the Philippines.
Yeah, so Garcia. No, he had a win over Garcia, anyways.
Yeah.
People like to forget that. They don't seem to realize that he actually did beat Seferino Garcia. And the second fight, that draw, it wasn't actually a title fight because it was a 10-round fight. So New York title didn't count. They didn't recognize it as a title fight. It was only recognized in California. And even had it been a championship distance fight and had he been given the decision, he would not have been undisputed because Al Hostak held the NBA title.
Oh, okay.
That's something else people don't really seem to elaborate on, and I feel like that's more detrimental to the history is to leave that out, because when somebody looks at that for the first time and realizes that, they might just think it's all a sham because people are overplaying his record to a slight degree.
Yeah.
You don't even really need to overplay his record at all. He beat Juan Zarita and Fritz Zivich in October of 1942. 2 champions he beat in 1 month.
Did Juan Zarita, didn't he lose his championship to Jimmy Carter?
Oh no, he lost to Ike Williams.
Ike Williams.
Jimmy Carter, I think. Yeah.
I thought Jimmy Carter won it 3 times.
He did, yeah.
I thought he beat Ike Williams, Juan Zarita, and Wallace Bud Smith or something like that.
Smith. He beat Williams. He lost to DeMarco and Lauro Salas. You're thinking of Lauro Salas because he was a Mexican fighter like Juan Zarita.
Oh, okay.
Salas was Mexican fighter. He I think that was the first time, but I'm not quite sure the order because he had so many losses. It's hard to visualize his record and remember everything. He went up to welterweight and lost quite a few times, but so he won it against Williams, and then his losses and wins were against Patty DeMarco and Lauro Salas, and then he lost to Bud Smith, who was dethroned by Joe Brown. And we come back to Joe Brown.
Yeah. You the one told us about Jimmy Carter, dog. I didn't even know about a 3-time undisputed lightweight champion.
Yeah, and I remember at the time I had said lineal, and then you were like giving me a little bit of shit because the whole thing with lineal people talk about.
Yeah. I don't value that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, that's in the trivia too, though. I had said something about. I think I said what fighter shares the name with a U.S. president or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I think that's the question you asked me. Now that I'm sitting up here thinking about it.
Now, for those of you people that's listening that goes to the trivia, y'all better be paying attention right now. I'm just saying this is the time to be getting your head start, because there's been some stuff said in here that I've heard say it's in the trivia. So if you're not getting it right now, you're tripping with yourself. I'm sorry. Back to you guys.
Hey, but you know what's crazy? Because when I wrote that question, I was thinking like, yeah, man, it's a good question. And now I'm sitting up here talking to this guy. He actually asked that question already, because he was like, he said, what fighter was a 3-time undisputed champion? He was named after a U.S. president. That's what he said.
Damn. I don't remember saying that whole thing about the president.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, there's one thing you'll learn about me, bro. I just sound like this. I got a hell of a memory.
When you say it, it comes back to me. It's just like, man.
Yeah, that's how I'll be remembering all them amateur records and shit.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Armin Brown says, I just want my honorary point at trivia night.
She came with somebody that got 2 points. Oh no, I forgot. Somebody gave her a point. Never mind.
That dude, I don't know his name, but he was getting all the answers.
L-Dub, man, that's the GOAT of the trivia, man. He #1 ranked pound for pound trivia contestant. Next it'll be either Xavier or Unrivaled. Unrivaled is very cold too. He from
Go by. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Unrivaled.
I don't know, man. Yeah, he was doing a Champ Ross competition with us. I kicked his ass a few times. But last time last time
in there because of the kind of personality he has, right?
what would say that again?
Kind of personality he has. I'm not surprised you have to put it in there that you kicked his ass.
Oh yeah, because he think he just the number one. But I ain't seen him since this last time he beat me though. Like he was ranked ahead of me by like one spot. But I ain't seen him since then. I've been looking for him, want revenge.
Yeah, he was the guy that actually got me. I mentioned that somebody on YouTube had helped me like with Ali and his New York title. It was him. He was the one that put me on that.
Okay.
He was the New York State Athletic Commission heavyweight champion in '64.
Yeah, he know a lot about boxing, man. He be on some bullshit sometimes. I really don't really care for him too much, to be honest with you, because he was saying some shit about me and Marlo that wasn't true. Talking about we was over here mistreating Kurt Sugar and shit. We ain't did shit to nobody, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we talking about how the fuck you gonna say how we mistreating another man? But nigga, stay out of my motherfucking business is what he need to do. But since then, he has came back to our channel trying to be cool, trying to be nice. He bought a membership for a while. He would come through and donate and all that kind of shit. So to me, it seemed like he was trying to say, "Oh, my bad on that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
But me, I probably should change this, but I don't forgive and forget very easily. So even though he did all of that, I still be thinking about the fuck shit he said. But I can't take away the fact that he is one of the coldest when it comes to boxing history all day.
Yeah, he told me that who was it? Ike Williams. He beat Kid Gavlin one extra time that isn't recorded on BoxRec.
Okay. I didn't even know that motherfucker beat Kid Gavlin. That's a hell of a win.
Yeah, they had some fights against each other.
At lightweight?
Yeah, at lightweight. I'm not quite sure now that I'm thinking of it.
You know what? Now that you say that, Hardline said that on one of his videos. I forgot. Yeah, that sounds familiar to me now.
But he mentioned the extra fight?
He didn't mention the extra fight. He just mentioned that they fought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only time I ever heard that they had another fight where Ike Williams had won.
Man, Ike Williams, bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Shit, getting out there with the boy, man. He did Bo Jack so bad.
In the Hall of Fame for nothing. I mean, the fact that people like Willie Joyce and Jack Blackburn aren't in it as fighters is evidence to that.
Yeah.
The old fighters don't just get in for nothing.
What about James Toney? You think he should go?
Yeah, he should have been in there a while ago.
Let's sprinkle some James Toney in there on the boys, man. God damn.
Yeah, that one. Of the fighters, that was one of the more egregious omissions.
Yeah. So we got us three of them then. We got James Toney, Willie Joyce, and Jack Blackburn. Let's get these men into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we need definitely Willie Joyce and Jack Blackburn.
Yeah.
They got my
vote. Another one that I really is Bert van Clavera. He's this Dutch fighter from the 30s. He beat Seferino Garcia and Christo Fortis. And he fought until his late 40s.
Yeah.
And
I think
he avenges a lot of his losses. I really feel like he really should. I mean, if like this, I think I keep coming back to this thing. Like maybe he's not the most deserving when I look at the whole landscape. But if Billy Graham is in the Hall of Fame, Bert van Clavera should be in there too.
Yeah.
I feel like the main reason why Billy Graham is in there is because he had his old 52-0-6 undefeated record. Because like he beat Joey Giardello, Carmen Basilio, and Kid Gavlin. But he also lost to all those guys.
Yeah.
He has one win against each of them, which is commendable. But it just kind of gets me thinking, like, if that's enough to be in the Hall of Fame, like he had this great undefeated record against contenders in 6 to 10 round fights, and then he beat a few champions, and he's in there. Somebody like Bert van Clavera should be in there too, and especially Billy Joyce. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even know about the other guy that you named. I think I remember the Anton Christopher. This is the first Greek champion, though.
Yeah. Willie Joyce beat Chalky Wright, Ike Williams twice. He beat Jackie Wilson. He beat Henry Armstrong twice. And he beat Lou Jenkins twice. And he avenged quite a few of his losses. He went 1-1 from what I'm seeing, maybe more, but against Slugger White, he beat him and lost to him. He lost to Willie Pep. He was never knocked out in his whole career.
Yeah, that's a hell of a run, though, just a name that you didn't name.
Yeah, and that's just like omitting the kind of guys that you have to fight to get to the point where you can even fight for that kind of stuff. And honestly, when I really look at this, he's a colored champion because he was the Negro lightweight champion.
Yeah.
So when you look at it through that, like, he did get title fights at light welterweight against Tippy Larkin, but he's like a Black Murderer's Rose kind of fighter on the edge of it because of the title he did get, but he's definitely should be considered a colored champion, in my opinion. Being a Negro lightweight title, I hate saying that.
Well, it is what it is. Yeah.
Say.
That's one reason I give Hardline credit, because he gives credit for the colored championships.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't. So that'd be one reason why he have hot fighters ranked so highly, because he give credit to them type of fights.
Yeah, I'm trying to give as much credit as I can to them. The only thing that gets me is like where it's the point where you're the colored champion, you fight a white guy, you lose to him in that division, and he doesn't get recognition. That's the only thing that gets me kind of just in my gut, where it's just like, that's another fighter that should get credit. But that doesn't take away from their accomplishments.
Man, the worst that I ever heard, I got this Joe Gans book, and I read that Joe Gans didn't actually lose his title in the ring. They said that somebody just started claiming his shit. He said
they tried to split his championship into 2 reigns.
He said he woke up one day and looked at the newspaper and somebody else was a champion.
Yeah. He did lose it in the ring, but that was in the middle of his – they tried to split it into 2 reigns arbitrarily.
That shit crazy, man, how they used to do them folks back then, man.
It's not even back then. It's in the record books today like that. It's only recently started to get fixed, and I think I don't want to like toot my own horn, but ever since I went on Wikipedia and changed that, I've been noticing more people crediting him as a champion from 1902 to 1908 when he got knocked out. Before I did that, I never really saw anybody say that he had one long reign. They'd say he gave up the title in 1906 arbitrarily for whatever made up reason they want to make. But
we appreciate your service, bro.
I don't know if it was me, but it's just like it's weird when you do things on Wikipedia. How many people really look there that don't talk about it? I just start noticing little shifts in things. Ever since I put on Sam Langford's record, people talk about him more. It might just be my own mind though, because like if I pay attention to a fighter, maybe it's just I'm seeing people talk about them more because I just started thinking about them more. So
it's probably in your mind, bro, because it's just like if you go buy a 1977 Buick Limited, and you don't see nobody driving this car. As soon as you go buy one, you see them motherfuckers all over the place. Everybody driving. I'm talking about 1977, nigga. This is 2022. How everybody driving 1977 Buick Limiteds now all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's part of the human experience, man.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be doing that shit too, because it seems like as soon as I bring up a good idea, I'll be hearing other people saying it. But shit, I think niggas be stealing. You know what? Hey, it done got to the point, like I see people asking questions on videos. I don't even be wanting to say nothing because I don't want nobody stealing my shit. I be thinking like, man, I'm just gonna wait and say it on my own channel. Or say it when I'm chopping it up with my people. You know what I'm saying?
Here's how you do.
That I haven't heard anybody say until now. I've started thinking it recently. Modern boxing does not need world champions anymore.
Bro, I've been saying that it's about the
That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought I never heard that, and now you're like, maybe it might just be the thing of one more voice. We came onto it. I didn't know that you'd been saying that, but I came to it with my own conclusion. But that's my voice. I've said it twice on YouTube in comments. That's just another voice added to it.
Yeah.
And then add to that, like if you have, it doesn't matter how people get to a point. I think we really just need to abolish these titles.
Yeah, man.
Whoa,
Like
whoa.
I don't even take the time to learn about them.
It
Like,
sounds crazy, but when you think of it, 4 titles, that's 4 corners to go hide in. So many prospects don't want to lose their O before they become champion. They don't want to lose until after they've won a trinket. It gets in the way of the sport. And after having looked at so many records of fighters that never even won a championship or fought for one that are great, Sam Langford only had 1 title fight. It was a draw. He's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. At worst, top 3.
Wow, but hold on. Let me stop you there. Why is he the greatest?
I know it has to do with it's in conjunction with the championships, but those only exemplify, like they show how great the fighters are. My only point right now is with we don't need championships is that I don't really think it's a permanent thing that we don't need them. I just think that we need to abolish them for the time being so that we can get fighters in the ring without worrying about titles. They just worry about fighting guys. That's all you can do is fight guys. There will be ways to duck. There always has been. There always will be. But I feel like the titles are one of the biggest bumps in the road when it comes to fighters not fighting the best.
Let me say a record to you.
Wait, I was gonna say, allow me to just touch on that a little bit. I could understand your passion to not want a title. 4 titles, too many, yes. But there has to be an apex in boxing. You literally saying take away the thing that you hear guys always say they want to be, a champion.
It brings
How do you you'll bring about plenty of fights. 1 belt will bring about the same amount of fights that you're talking about right now. But if there is no belt, then there is no definition of who is truly the best.
and
I
I
think
think that's what we need right now.
I think the best should be the person who got the most scalps.
And that's the thing. Even with all these belts, we already don't really know who the best is in
Exactly.
the division.
The belts ain't doing nothing.
I'll say it right here.
Like I say, I'll agree to go. 1 belt is fine for me. 1 belt, 1 champion, 1 name. It gives you back like what Ali and them has. You knew who the champ was, regardless of how many people were fighting. You knew who was the man. Now, if we could get 1 belt, that's going to alleviate and get rid of a whole bunch of crap. Those who's going to not want to fight and duck, then so be it. But those that really are trying to lay claim to being considered the best fighter in that, then they're going to go for their belt.
See, this is the thing. It's not even just about the belts. We need a merit-based ranking system, period.
Yes.
Like when you see a top 10, brother, it's supposed to mean top 10. We need some number 1 contenders instead of a mandatory. That's a big thing for me. But like for me, another thing, like 33-9-6. That's a significant record for me. That's the record that Harry Greb had going against Hall of Famers. He fought 16 Hall of Famers in his career, and he went 33-9-6. That symbolizes his scalps that he accumulated. I have way more respect if you go out there and beat a bunch of good fighters and don't have no belt, or if you rather than you go out there and beat some mediocre guys, but you got a bunch of belts.
What the hell?
Yeah, so I think I just have more respect for who you fought over how many belts you got.
The thing is, like, the reason why I say get rid of them is because if you just disregard the sanctioning bodies, then you are not paying attention to fake rankings. You're not paying attention to them. And as much as I wish we could just have 1 belt, it's never been that way. First off, it's never been that way. There's always at least been 2. And even when there were no belts, there were title claimants. But that's besides the point. If we could get back to a point where the majority of the time there's 1 champion in every weight class, if there's a champion at all, that would be perfect world. But in the real world, how do you get to a point where it's anywhere close to resembling that? Drastic changes need to be made to make small changes sometimes. You just have to, it's like, how did America become? Revolution. You kind of have to revolt at a certain point, because where is the sport going? If we all want one belt. I know Trey X wants one belt. I know you want, everybody listening, the ideal world, we want just one champion per division. But how do you get to a point where that becomes realistic? I feel like maybe the only way is to just think radically and just forget about champions for the time being, and maybe get to a point where it can mean something in the future if we have people in tournaments fighting to a point. Because championships in the 30s, they did give belts to people sometimes, so it was based off of merit. They had huge records, they fought all these guys, but for the most part, I've seen situation at, I think, flyweight or featherweight, lower, like late 20s, early 30s, they had a guy fight another guy for the vacant title. They took the belt away from him and they stripped him and started a tournament, and then crowned a new champion from that tournament. And that guy never got his due. Like, they just kind of like screwed him over, but it just showed a very strong commitment to sticking to tournaments. We need more tournaments. We just need, like, why is it that Muay Thai is so strong? They have so many fights. We live in the modern world, but how do we get back to this point? There are other combat sports where it resembles boxing 100 years ago. I just don't like. I just feel like we need drastic changes in order to get to any sort of point where it resembles the history of the sport when it was at its best.
Well, with that, I would just say, I don't know. Money has changed a lot of things when it comes to boxing. The ideal, excuse me, the ideal world that we are, the ideal world, we're not going to get that. So we might as well go ahead and accept what we got. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one belt, one champion, but we're not going to get that. So
I don't think that I don't agree with that, OG, that we should just lay down and accept it. The fact of the matter is, the reason why things are the way they are is because of money and greed. People see that the championship fights are more lucrative, so they made more belts. Like you said, the belts, multiple belts ain't a new thing. Like back in the day, different states had championships, like the California middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, Jack Chase, and all them dudes over there fighting for that. We had Pacific Coast champions, Australian champions, Mexican champions, all this kind of stuff. So that stuff done been around, you know what I'm saying? But they saw that there was some money in them fights. Those are big events, big spectacles. Like I like to say, chicks dig the long ball, chicks dig championship fights, and they making money off that. I wanted to say though, the tournament that you talking about the tournament they tried to put together when Joe Louis retired?
No, I'm thinking about the lower weights.
Oh, the lower weight, okay.
I think it was flyweight. They gave him some Pinky Silverberg, something along those lines. Those kind of fighters. They had two guys fight for the title. One guy won. He became champion, and they stole it. They just took the belt from him and then started a new tournament. Didn't even include him. It's just fucked up. But they kind of it kind of comes off like they recognized that they didn't do it the right way, so they just started over and did it the right way. They just had a tournament. I think it was the NBA, but I'm not quite sure.
See, another thing for me, like when we think about the great fighters, like we think about Ali. I know, like, what was Ali, like a 3-time heavyweight champion or something like that? Yeah. But that's not the first thing we think about. We think about the Thriller in Manila. We think about his first fight with Joe Frazier. That might be the #1 fight of all time. We think about the fight with George Foreman. That might be the #1 win of all time. We think about all the battles he had. Sonny Liston. That might have been his greatest performance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we think about stuff like that. When we think about Sam Langford, we think about all the people that he was fighting. Joe Gans, he fighting against Jack Blackburn, Larry Temple, and what's the other guy from Dave Holly? He fighting against people like this. So that's why we give him so much credit. We think about the people that he fought. We think about the people that he beat over championship type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know he was winning he was like a 5-time colored heavyweight champion, but most people don't know that.
Beat all the champions he beat. He beat Tiger Flowers in 2 rounds when he was blind in his late 30s, who became champion. It's like those things add on to it, but at the end of the day, that's just to tell you that that fighter was great.
Yeah, I look at them names like he knocked out Harry Wheels. I know Harry Wheels has a great record against him, but he still got a knockout over Harry Wheels in his advanced stages of his career. We talking about a man that fought from lightweight all the way up to heavyweight.
What was that? 1916, right?
I don't be knowing the dates and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
I just found this out. When he knocked him out, later that month, he beat Sam McVay. In the same calendar month, he beat 2 Hall of Famers, Harry Wills, Sam McVay.
See, that's crazy, and that's the kind of stuff that I think that we remember.
That have done that in their career. I've stayed up till 5 a.m. last night looking through just record after record. I only found 7 fighters that have beaten 2 Hall of Famers in the same month.
Yeah. So I think if we had modern day fighters that was more worried about their resume, like the people that they beat, over getting titles that really don't mean too much because the titles are watered down, I think that would take boxing in a better direction. We would have big events. We would have big fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if these fighters were hell bent on fighting each other. Like we were talking about Tank Davis earlier. What if him and Shakur Stevenson were like, man, hey, no matter what, we gonna fight each other. We don't give a fuck because we want to fight the best, period.
Or even, what if they even just like had a small event? Like they just like their promoters get in the way. They just like say, fuck it. Let's put our own money out. They make the fights. All like it's bad in the short term, but it's good in the long term.
I think it's good to promote the sport and shit all the way around. You know what I'm saying? Like it might not be good as far as like the traditional view, like it's everybody fighting for a championship and all that kind of stuff, but people like big names getting in the ring together. I think you can't go wrong with that. If it's all about the marquee matchups and they getting together on a consistent basis, I don't think that could do nothing but elevate the sport.
Yeah, like why is it like people keep forgetting why Floyd and Pacquiao made such a big fight? It's because they fought all these names beforehand. Like all the guys that Floyd beat before Oscar De La Hoya is the reason why that fight was so big. Like the fights build on each other. Yeah. People like act like Crawford Spence is like Pacquiao Mayweather. The only resemblance is that it's not happening. That's the only resemblance I see. Otherwise, like that fight should have happened. We should be on the 3rd fight for that one. Like Marlon Starlin fought these guys early in his career, and then he had rematches. Like even Shane Mosley had like 10 fights in 2 or 3 years. That wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
And these guys, like they're just putting in puny records.
Yeah.
And trying to protect them like it even matters in the long term. And who's going to remember Demetrius Andrade in 30 years?
Somebody gonna remember it.
Somebody. But who will remember Bernard Hopkins in 20 to 30 years?
Everybody. Even somebody like Charlo right now, Jamel Charlo, he making a name for himself because he took a chance early on fighting Lubin. That could have went wrong, but he came out on top. And since then, he's been fighting good fighters.
He's almost got 40 fights, which is a lot for current fighters.
And he signed on the dotted line to fight Andrade. And he has fight who they put in front of him at 154, and he got all the belts. So it's like he got both sides of the plate. He got the names, and he getting the belts. And that's one reason why I give him a lot of respect, but that's also another reason why I'm disappointed in his brother. You start out fighting people like J. Rock Williams and stuff, taking chances, but since then, that shit done died down immensely.
Yeah. Man.
His mistake was chasing Canelo.
Was he even really chasing him, though?
Well, the persona that he put out was that. So, his mistake was that, in my opinion. He should have just continued to fight and attempt to make his career become something because it stalled. as far as
Yeah,
I'm concerned, his career stalled.
I agree.
The
What's
only
it?
thing people are gonna remember about him is, oh, he was chasing Canelo. He wouldn't fight nobody. He was chasing Canelo. He wouldn't fight this guy because he was chasing Canelo, and that's how it's going to look.
So what's
His
the
brother.
thing with this
Go
Jack
ahead.
guy? Do you think he's going to fight him? I don't really know anything about him. I know he has a WBO because they gave it to him or whatever.
I didn't hear the first part. What'd you say again?
Janibek, I've been hearing this name. I haven't seen him fight. I don't really know his record at all. I know he's like 12-0 or something, and he's the WBO middleweight champion now.
Yeah, he won the AIBA World Championship gold medal at middleweight back in 2013. So he a 5 on my pedigree scale.
Oh,
Southpaw, yeah, he a pretty good fighter, man. He ain't got the best speed, but he got good timing and he got good power, and he know how to fight orthodox fighters out of that southpaw stance. He a pretty dangerous guy.
so you think Charlo is going to actually fight him?
Low risk, high risk, low reward. So nope.
And that's the problem. Like Charlo could get in these big fights if he just sucks it up and fights somebody.
Yeah, but Andre should have fought him too because
Yeah.
Andre was mandated to fight him. I was disappointed that Andre didn't fight.
It's like at this point, I'm just trying to think like it sucks everything that happened, but at a certain point, you just have to like put it in the past and just fight who's in front of you because Andre's going up. You don't want to move up. There are guys at your weight class. He says he wants to be undisputed, but the last time I heard a middleweight saying they wanted to be undisputed middleweight champion, they didn't. That was Canelo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't really. It just doesn't sound like something that has any weight.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, as far as Jamal, that's the older brother, the one who's been missing as far as getting out there and performing. He's becoming a distant memory. I know he's still in the fight game and everything like that, but boxing, when you really look at it and rest it down on your shoulders, is what have you done lately? And if you haven't gotten in the ring and showed us anything, then you start to become a distant memory. He's quietly becoming that. You don't hear him, popping off at the mouth like you used to. You don't see him. He's just fading away, it seems like.
Yeah, you got a fight coming up with Selecki, I think.
You think he's going to make it to the fight?
I don't know when the fight is supposed to take place. It might have got canceled or some shit. It seemed like it was supposed to happen already.
I think it was. I thought he had got hurt. He had got an injury or
Oh,
something.
that's what it was. Yeah, he got hurt.
Another injury. And every time these guys get injured, they just stay inactive. Jared Anderson, I heard he had a hand injury or whatever. He should have 3 fights by the end of this year. He had like 4 last year. He should have 3 more fights by the end of this year to make up for it. He'll have 15 or 16 fights by that point.
Yeah, but they trying to step him up now though, so because they talking about him fighting against Ergovich and fighting against Zali Zane.
But if you can't get in the ring, for God's sake. Like back in the day, people get stripped of their titles if they didn't fight in 6 months for the title. And they would get kicked out of rankings if they didn't fight in 6 months.
Well, the hustle has changed. The greed has grown. The money that people see is different.
I don't know necessarily the greed has grown. I just feel like it's a different way that they can get their greed because Henry Armstrong's promoter was very greedy. He had him fight 20 fights in 2 years, almost all title fights. But whereas now you can have someone fight one time a year, and then you let out their fight from the last year, and then you make money off of that because they have all these fights in their storages, and they just don't give them out. I hate the way that it's gone. I just don't get why these other sports are flourishing and boxing is stagnant to 30 fight career. People have hundreds of fights in Muay Thai.
I had a problem with boxing when they was canceling all these fights claiming COVID when I didn't hear about the MMA events being canceled because of COVID. I was like, why are these fighters getting COVID, but the MMA fighters ain't getting COVID and canceling their events?
Because Dana White made a great analogy. They literally run their MMA like a business. Boxing is a business with a whole bunch of separate little businesses running inside of it. Every boxer is a business within himself. Nobody's doing things the conventional way. This guy might be doing it this way. This guy might be doing it that way. And it's hard to wrangle all that in and try to bottleneck it and get it to go a smooth flow. It's like a blood clot in the artery.
See, I looked at it like boxing is opportunistic. Like if you have the opportunity, you need to push the fight back. You need more time. Fuck it, let's claim COVID. You know what I'm saying? If you Mikey Garcia, let's jump around from weight class to weight class and find the weakest champions and unask them for that belt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an opportunistic type of sport. Because we don't have that strong centralized leadership, people can get away with it. But like in MMA, like you said, they got strong centralized leadership, and Dana ain't going for that shit. You ain't pushing back the event line talking about COVID. But to me, it just looked like the fighters was taking advantage of that shit. Like we have an opportunity to claim a illness and get more time. And I saw a lot of them taking advantage of that. I have to think that's what that is because I didn't see the same proportionate fights in MMA get pushed back. Hire one group of people catching COVID, then the other people ain't, and both of them out there in public and shit and making fights.
Yeah,
y'all lying. Y'all ain't got no COVID, man. You fat and you out of shape because, like Xavier say, you motherfuckers ain't fighting but once or twice a year. And I'm with this shit. Like I want these fighters to have fights. Like for example, we've been betting on fights. This weekend we got like. Man, I want to say about 20 fights. We can only bet on about 5 of them because people coming off of layoffs. We can't even bet on these motherfuckers because they ain't fought in 15 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I just feel like there has I feel like in order to get these guys to fight more or to fix this stuff up, we have to start looking at the other combat sports. As I just look up, I don't know much about the other ones, but I know that they fight. So like I look up current kickboxing world champion. It says Rico Verhoeven. Oh, he's Dutch. He's got 69 fights. He's 33 years old.
Yeah. Damn Andrew Tate had a bunch of goddamn fights.
Yeah, even a dipshit like Andrew Tate has something like 80 fights.
Yeah, I like Andrew Tate though. I ain't gonna even lie.
You ain't calling him a dip.
Yeah, I like it though.
He's like the male version of a Karen.
You think you're a male version of a Karen?
Yeah, I saw him like he was on this train. This dude was sleeping, and he was like saying, "Oh, somebody should try to kill him." He didn't like look at this grown man sleeping. I'm like, dude, just let the man sleep. We're in civilization.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from though.
Sure,
like you out there in public and shit, you supposed to be on your square. You sitting up here sleeping, thinking everything a bed of roses. It might not be like that all the time. You need to stay on your guard when you out in public. How the fuck you in public sleep?
I mean, if you're in a place where it's dangerous, I get that. But if you're
everywhere is dangerous,
like Amsterdam in the Netherlands, one of the safest countries, it's like if you're tired and you're working a long shift, it's like, what does it really matter?
I understand, but you know they also want to like boost shit up for social media content. Yeah. I doubt that the motherfucker like that in real life.
No, I've heard that he's a complete bitch in real life.
Trey, yeah, I'm gonna say something. Every place is safe until it's not.
Yeah,
but there are some countries that are way safer.
Yeah, you know, you could market you in that situation you can label it however, but every place is safer until it's not.
Yeah,
and that's a true statement. It's going to remain true forever because every safe place that you can think of at some point in time, something unsafe happened there. Might not talk about it, but it's documented.
And at the same time, you're not gonna always agree with everything somebody say. Because I'll admit, when I did see that clip and him fucking with the dude on the train, I was thinking like, man, they let the motherfucker sleep. Yeah. But at the same time, though, I his overall message, how men need to stop being so feminine and motherfucker need to be aggressive with their approach to life. Go out there and go get what you want instead of waiting on something to come to you. I can agree with that, man. There's a lot of dudes that act like girls these days. They wearing skinny jeans and doing all this kind of shit. He going against all of that. So I fuck with him on that. I like Andrew Tate and his brother.
Overall message, all I've seen is the shitting on people for wanting to live how they live. Like, the only thing that I heard out of that I agree with is just like, go get it. I don't wait on things.
But that's the thing, though, bro. Anytime somebody tell you something, take what you can get from it and then discard the rest of it.
I had heard that from him. All I've heard from him is just hate, like, putting out some sort of hate and then just shitting on people for, like, drinking weird drinks. Like, this dude's smoking a cigar, saying, just drink water. You don't need that drink. Puffing on a cigar. Like, you don't need the mouth cancer, dude.
Yeah. I mean, if you feel like he's being a hypocrite, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had heard something good. I haven't heard the whole take, like, go after it. I just heard a lot of misogyny and weird shit.
What do you call misogyny?
Just his approach on women. It's just like the whole reason why he's like, from what I've seen, it seems like he just wants to have sex with as many as he can. It's like, whatever, but.
You feel like women should be cherished and all that, huh?
Not necessarily. I just don't. I mean, I think that people should be treated with respect, and as you treat people with respect. But it's like when it comes to a whole like, just it's like.
I started laughing because I was thinking about my boy J1 Pro. My bad. Because my boy J1 Pro, one time we were having a conversation, and we were talking. I don't know how we got here, but we was like. Talking about what would you rather have, a woman or a bag of diamonds? And he talking about he would take the woman because the woman is more valuable than a bag of diamonds. I was like, nigga, give me that bag of diamonds, nigga. I can get the woman later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that just reminded me. Like just that whole mentality of just kind of seems like he puts money over people, and the kind of people that he attracts, I can see it. Like.
See, but this a thing though, bro. This a thing. This is just facts. He say that kind of shit because the women are the ones that are making the choices, really. Like, the women don't want no broke dude. They want the man that got the money. So if you a man that want women, you better go get you some money. Otherwise, you ain't gonna have no women. So that's basically what he's saying. Like when men, that's just like, who was that? I think it was Chris Rock. He said men, they go buy fast cars, not because they want to have the fast, fancy car, because women want like the fast, fancy car. You know what I'm saying? So
you're attracting, no. If you have a lot of gold.
Hold up. Almond Brown said, you better take the diamonds. And she a woman. She said, you better take the diamonds.
Yeah. If a woman's telling me that, I know I'm never going to take them.
Yeah. See, but at the same time,
hold on, Trey. Let me hit the youngster real quick.
To take over money is the kind of person that.
Hold on, X. Hold on, because I know you green. It's a 25-year difference here. In about 25 years, the vigor that you're speaking right now and the things that you're saying, a lot of that's going to change. It's going to change because of life.
No, so I'm going to be done.
The things that you're going to learn. Hopefully, you don't have to learn some lessons, but life is going to teach you some things, especially when it comes to women.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know I'm young. I've been through some shit already, as people do when they engage in relationships. But I'm engaged now, and I know.
Congratulations.
I'm woman for the rest of my life.
How long have you known her?
I've known her since I was 11.
That's a friendship that can be cultivated into something more. So
and it has been.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, you're an outlier though. Most people don't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's most people don't have that benefit of doing that.
Like the thing, I know I'm an outlier on that, but the other thing is, like, if you have the mentality of going after money to get women, then you're gonna attract women like flies, but they're gonna be like flies.
Well, see, with that, you have to also remember that a lot of people are influenced by the culture and the way culture has taught them. And this is what they know.
Yeah.
especially in this era. But you have a few like yourself that bubbles out and actually looks for a partner, or looks at life a whole different way. They separated themselves, and that's, to me, that's the best way to be. So what you're saying is true, and it's a bubble for that. Take yourself out of that bubble, and then you get to reap the benefits of what really lies outside of what society is saying it should be.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like with Andrew Tate, I don't think he's saying to dog out good women. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, you have to be able to characterize who you're dealing with. Not every woman is supposed to be treated like a queen. That they don't all deserve that.
Yeah.
Like you have some good women that deserve to be treated like a queen. They down to earth. Like Alma Brown, that's a good woman right there. She is nice. She go to church. She a good woman. Bring positive energy. She down to earth. She ain't judgmental. A lot of good stuff. You wouldn't treat her bad. But if it's another woman, man, like a Cardi B type chick, oh man, I'm dogging them. I'm not gonna even lie. But at the same time, like everybody don't have the same experience when it comes to dating. Like I ain't gonna even lie to you. I've always been successful with women. I probably could get a woman before I get something to eat. So I'm not gonna sit up there and cherish women the way some people do. Like some of these niggas on YouTube, old queen, old goddess, and all. I'm not doing all that. I'm gonna talk to them with respect, but I'm just gonna talk to them how I talk to them. I'm not calling them goddess and all that shit.
Did
You
you
got
say
me
old
fucked up.
queen, old goddess?
Yeah, that's how they be talking. I'm not doing all that. I might call them a queen every now and then, but I damn sure ain't calling them no goddess. I ain't no simp. I ain't never had to be no simp. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of the women I done had that came to me, I ain't even have to go to them. So my experience in dating them been different from a lot of guys. A lot of guys are angry and bitter at women because they've been rejected by women their whole life. So when they listen to somebody like Andrew Tate, and I'm not saying you, Xavier, but I'm saying a lot of people that do, they are already intimidated by that alpha male type of energy where they can go out there and get any woman that they want. Some people be jealous of that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
people gonna look at stuff differently.
but when you have somebody that's been rejected so much in that weak mind, somebody that I've known for a long time that I immediately think of, like, this dude is like, he's been rejected so many times that he's gone down the point of, like, have you heard of Red Pill?
Hold on. Before we go that far,
Yeah.
I feel like I have to go ahead. Since Almond Brown is a female, she is speaking. I want to bring her voice out. She said, "Nope, I'll bring my own diamonds to match his, but I wouldn't be attracted to a man just because he has diamonds." And we mean that as money and stuff like that. So just to make sure everybody's on the same page, she says, "Match me mentally, and I'll be intrigued to see what else you can bring." And I'm gonna spring off of that, and then I'll turn it back over to y'all. But that's, in my opinion, what, if we talk in relationship, that's what a man should be looking for: a woman that could match him mentally, spiritually. Her go get it is the same as his. She's looking to build like he's looking to build, and that's not easy to do in today's time and age. Be it because of the internet, be it because of the young parents that are involved. It's a lot of things that you have to look at, and it's not as hard as one might seem to think it is to find somebody thinking like that, because it's a lot of young women that are looking for a guy that's going to match her that way.
Well, I gotta say this. Oh, my bad, OG.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's a lot harder to match women these days. Like, you kind of damn near got to be like an Andrew Tate to match them. Like, for example, Almond Brown. Almond Brown is like them Jamaicans that was on The Living Color back in the day that had all them jobs. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
I swear to God, yeah, she got her hand in everything. This woman got her own business and she got all kind of side hustles. So if you gonna match her energy when it come to going and go get it, nigga, you got to be going to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of women are like that these days. These are not your normal traditional women. Now, as far as the diamonds go, like when it comes to women like her, it don't really apply to her because she ain't out there looking for that kind of stuff. Like she said, she want like a deeper connection. So we ain't even speaking on them. When it comes to the good women, Andrew Tate say we need to get them and protect them. Do what you can to provide for them and to protect them. But when it comes to the other women that don't have the same type of morals, I guess I should say, nah, they don't deserve the same type of treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman should not be treated good just because she's a woman. No, women need to earn that shit, man. Be a good woman. We ain't saying that you got to be a virgin and all that kind of shit, but have some values, have some morals, bring something to the table besides sex, and then you'll get that type of respect.
The sex is the last thing.
The thing about that is like you're not coming at this from the mentality of somebody who's been rejected and looks as women as some sort of like has been through the simping and went through the red pill or whatever. You're coming at it from a more stable mentality. And I feel like the real danger of Andrew Tate is that the way that he's approaching it of sexualizing women, the type of women that aren't like good partners, is like he's giving confidence to people who don't have meaningful friendships with women to just approach women as if they're not even really humans. It dehumanizes people. He goes to some of the most sexist countries in the world. He goes between Romania, Saudi Arabia, and whatever other shitty country it is, but just because of the religion. But Saudi Arabia, the women they're second-class citizens. They can't even drive. And the problem is like the kind of people, like the people that grow up not being able to talk to women or have no confidence, simping or whatever, the red pill, they need to be taught that women are just people too. And if you want to be able to talk to women, you just have to talk to them like normal people and stop thinking with your dick. If you just like, you're not trying to fuck, if you're not gay or bi, you're not going to be trying to fuck men, so you're going to talk to men like people. So just apply that to women, and the kind of women that are going to be valuable are the kind of women that recognize that you're not just looking for sex or whatever, you're just speaking to them like a normal person. And there are just a lot of people that are just looking for sex, and they don't think about just talking to women like normal people, and then they completely repel those people. It's harder to find the sensible women when they don't want to be anywhere near you because of the mentality. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, not saying either of you individual, I'm just saying that mentality repels normal women because they don't want to be anywhere near that.
See, but normal ain't normal no more. A lot of women these days, they just want to fuck. Every woman that you meet, women are different these days, man.
There are a lot more women that just like, it just depends on how you get to talking to them, but there are a lot more normal people than I feel like people even want to give credit for. Like if people think you're gay, if women think you're gay, you're gonna find a lot of more of the normal women. Because like they're not, like a lot of women shut off to men because of the society that we live in. They shut off and they don't want to have to deal with somebody coming after you just to have sex with you. So like there's a reason why a lot of women are friends with gay guys.
Allow me to intervene real quick. I want to go back to the part with the countries, and when you speak on those, you're speaking about cultures and things that have been placed for hundreds of years,
just like slavery was. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But when it comes down to speaking to a culture about what's right for them, you know, what's right for us is not exactly right for them. And it's because we think that it's right doesn't really give us the right to force it upon them.
You can't.
Just like slavery. Hold on. Let me keep cooking here. Like you said, just like slavery. It's a forced thing. Now, we talking about women and what they like and what they dislike or whatever. But the main component of it is they're humans, just like we are. I feel like a woman should get what she gives. A man should get what he gives. Simple and plain. There is no other way around it. You want a good woman? you search, you find one. Hopefully you get lucky and you find one. Same for a woman on a man. You know what you're looking for. If you end up with somebody that you don't want, that means you decided to discard some of the things that you said you were looking for in that person. This conversation has been had for as long as men and women been around, and it's been a conversation to have. You know, like I said, society has molded the way people think about women. It's and how women think about men on every level in every culture. That's just what it is. They got the magic pill with the TV, radio. Every ad that has ever been pushed out has been a certain way for women. When it comes down to it, men are represented in movies a certain way, in books. You look around, you name it. It's up to you to break that way of thinking and get what you're looking for. This man is just personifying, like you said, maybe he's been rejected a lot of times by women, but the fact is he's in a position where he can put his thought out, and there are going to be people who agree with it. There's going to be people who don't agree with it. But in all, it doesn't affect you.
My thing is, I believe what the Bible say. The Bible say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's. You don't treat everybody the same, man. People get what they earn. If it's a woman, I think it's very few men who walk up to women treating them like sexual objects for the first time. Like, you just met a woman and you like, get over here, bitch, and woo, woo, woo. Ain't nobody doing that shit. When men talk to women, they talk to them nice. Now, once the woman shows you what it is, then you treat them accordingly. That's just the way it is for me. Like, if I talk to a woman and she's a great woman, a great person, she's interesting, she's smart, funny, all that kind of stuff, but then that's when I'm going to associate with her, and that's when I'm going to grasp on to. But if a woman coming at me in a different way, I'm not going to treat her like a lady. I mean, you got to see my inbox on Messenger. I had dropped a picture on my Facebook account. You should see the women that be in my inbox and the type of shit they be saying. So the simps feel like I'm supposed to treat them all like queens. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? If it's a queen, I treat a queen like a queen. If it's a thought or whatever word they be using, I'm gonna treat them like that. I'm not treating them all like queens and goddesses and all that kind of shit. And I feel like that's what Andrew Tate is saying. I don't think he walking up to women that's being rude to him off the top. But once you go out on a date with them or something, and you sit down and talk to them, and you hear what they about, well, hell, I got to adjust.
The thing is, though, I feel like there are a lot of people that, like, obviously they don't come off aggressive, like sexually aggressive or whatever. They're nice, but their intentions are not ever, like, some people, it's just their intentions are always sex. And Andrew Tate, like, the thing that gets me about him, I think about this time where he, like, his current girlfriend, he couldn't even remember her birthday. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Man, if you don't remember all your girls' birthdays, you ain't had that many of them, nigga. Do you know how many girls' birthdays I forgot?
I know one thing. I know Almond Brown say, I'm in your inbox thirsty, huh?
She ain't even my friend on Facebook, so she just down there talking, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah.
She shot slugs on you.
Yeah, she ain't my friend on Facebook.
Now, so let me say, I've been with my wife 32 years. I forgot our anniversary, and I forgot her birthday before. So, I hope that don't put me in the Tate dude category.
No, I'm not saying that it's across the board. I'm just saying, like, with the things I've seen of Tate and then Dad, it's just like, just the way
he's not your cup of tea.
He just seems like the kind of person that doesn't want to have any sort of meaningful relationship with a woman. So
he's just an outlier. Like, let me ask you this, Xavier. Have you had successful platonic relationships with women?
I don't really have many successful platonic relationships with anybody. I don't really talk to that many people.
Well, hell, I hope all your relationships with men are platonic, motherfucker. But I'm just saying, when it comes to women, have you had successful, like, friendships?
Yeah, but I don't really stay in touch with most of my friends, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, see, most men ain't like that, bro. Most men, when they have friendships with women, they be either they fucking them or they want to. That's just the nature of a man, bro. Most, especially if you got beautiful women as friends.
Whoa,
You know,
whoa. You don't want to smash all of them. You know, you can't have some friend girls that's like, this my partner. You know, it don't be nothing about sex at all.
dimes. You mean to
Yeah,
tell me, man, hell,
yeah.
no, I'm not
Hey,
trying. Please.
listen, Trey. You still got some time to go through it, but you will find that you can have that friend that's a female, that sex is not a part of the deal, and that you can have conversations and get insight on things that you wouldn't be able to get from anywhere else. That's really what that girl is for.
I done fucked all my female friends and they want to fuck me.
I have not.
Y'all just some special guys. I done knocked down all my female friends. Matter of fact, I don't even keep female friends. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
why. That's why, because you just smashed them.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't even put myself in that position. I'm not about to be no friend with no female for
Why didn't you
real.
try it once?
What? Okay, let me ask you this.
Man, I'm 37. I turned 38 in a few months. You don't think I done had the opportunity to have some friendship? Hold on, let me back it up.
You try not having sex with one of them and see what happens.
Man, if she like a 5 or something, okay. But if she a 9 or 10,
the way you're talking,
but see, you gotta look past that, bro. You gotta look past the prettiness. Okay, I
I
got a cool ass friend.
On three hands. So like at a certain point, if you have like 5 women and they're all hot, what is not having sex with one of them gonna ruin if you have 4?
If I'm in a relationship, I'm good. I ain't even spending time with them anyway. But if I got a fine ass friend and I'm single, nigga, what I was trying to tell you is most men think like that. Y'all some good guys. I give y'all that. So y'all different. But I'm saying most men are ruthless. Most men will fuck your girl. I'm talking about your friend will fuck your girl a lot of the time.
Yeah,
not all the time, but I'm saying
the kind of people that I've been friends with, I don't really stay friends with them because of the way they, not like explicitly that, but just the kind of people I try to not associate with.
I just say men are raw. It is what it is.
It is.
Like, just think about that. Almond Brown, right? She come and she support our channel and all that kind of stuff. Everybody hear me calling her my Amazon angel and all that. Did that stop niggas from going to her channel shooting their shot? Hell no. Them niggas right over there shooting their shot. Nigga, they don't give a fuck about their boy Trey X. They just hot. Nigga, men are raw. Not every man is good people like y'all, man. Men are raw, is what I'm trying to tell you. And Andrew Tate are talking to the most men. Men are raw. He's not talking to the outliers. The outliers are gonna be mad. And when I listened to him, I thought about that too. I was like, man, hey, every man has not had this type of perspective when it comes to women. Like, it's some men that feel like they have been deprived of women, and they feel like they can't talk to women. Women don't want to talk to them. They feel like they're not attractive. It's a lot of guys that's going through shit, man. Like I hate to say I'm messed up. I ain't trying to be gay, but sometimes I be looking at them videos when them dudes, like, they be short stacking. And they be talking to each other, trying to comfort each other. Like, hey, man, don't even worry about it, man. 5 inches is average for a man. And all this kind of stuff. Like, it be some insecure men that be worried about this kind of stuff, man. So when y'all think about men, understand, not all men are coming from a place of emotional security. Like, it's some fucked up men. But the men that are emotionally secure, they ain't having no problem with Andrew Tate. It's the men that's kind of broken in some areas that's having a big problem with him. I'm not saying that's you, Xavier, but I'm saying most of the men that I have seen that's having problems with him, they got some areas that they feel deficient in.
I guess my problem with him isn't really with him. It's just kind of with society. I mean, I listen to a lot of political stuff and everything, and I'm always thinking about, like, how am I going to approach this with my kids? So I'm just like, it's just hard to try to come at this It's just like,
You born in the wrong time, bro. Number one, you 24 and you like saxophones. How many 24-year-old walk around playing saxophone? And then at the same time, you like old school shit, you like history, you like old school boxing and all this kind of stuff. You like family values. You like to kind of pedestalize women a little bit out here in your voice, but maybe not overly.
trying to
But
treat them like humans. Those like thoughts, I don't associate with them. It's
yeah,
like
but-
you say, some people you treat differently. I don't even treat them anyway because I don't want them in my life.
and then
Yeah,
at the
okay,
same time,
so-
y'all got to understand this too. There's a reason that they say nice guys finish last. Most women don't want no nice guy that pedestalize them. Women like the bad boys and shit. That's just what that is. It's been like that for a long time. Yeah, so that's why I say women dictate what's going on. If women say we like money and fast cars, well, men gonna get money and fast cars. If women say nice guys finish last, they want a bad boy, well, men gonna be bad boys. They gonna give the women what they want. Women are the ones that's dictating this shit, man.
I'm more like something than anything though, because it's like you're almost like a slave to that mentality. It's like I say what you do. Oh, okay, do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I want fast cars. Let's go get fast cars. It's just like
I
whatever.
understand both of you guys on both sides of this fence. I really do. Trey, I feel what you're saying because I've been young. So, you know, I know that side. And at the time that I am now, I know the side that he's talking about. It really just comes to when a certain maturity hits you, where you gonna make a decision to say, am I gonna keep dealing with this, or am I gonna attempt to find something, cultivate it, and deal with that? Now, yeah, you always had the danger of what you said. Some friends will fuck your girl, but your confidence ain't in your friend, it's in your girl. Do you have someone who thinks like you, who can have a friend? This is where that part come in, who could have a dime as a friend and not run up in them.
well, I'm not gonna mess with my friend girl. I don't care how fine she is. But for me personally, it's and what I'm saying is I'm talking about the younger version of me, because the older version of me, I don't even have no female friends. But the younger version of me, no, I wasn't gonna let these dime pieces just be sitting around and shit,
I
thinking
feel you.
everything cool with me, nigga. What? Nigga, I'm Montre Davis. Nigga.
Oh, my bad, sis. She said, MZ, I need you to correct that statement about me being thirsty in his inbox. Please, you right. She did say no. I said they are in his inbox thirsty.
Oh man.
So let me go and fix that. I'm sorry I made that mistake. And sis also said, wait now, I have male friends that never tried, never talked about it. Nothing. We are just friends. And I'm gonna say this. I have found that when you can find a friend like that, of the opposite sex, and it's platonic, strictly, y'all don't have those thoughts. It's something cool. I got lucky. I'm gonna say it like this. I got lucky. My wife is my friend, but I have friends that she know that nothing has ever been, has ever crossed the mind. But I can bounce off ideas of what my wife might be thinking because they friends too, or it might be a female thing that I'm trying to get a grasp upon that my wife is not going to give me the correct answer, because sometimes when you talk to somebody who's in that relationship, they're not going to give you that straight answer, because sometimes they're trying to protect the feeling. I'm not that person. And my wife say, am I gaining a little weight? Yeah, you're getting a little chunky. I might be in trouble later, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
That's bold.
What's bold about it? I'm treating it like I want to be treated. Tell me the truth about me. That's a human thing.
Yeah.
A lot
And then
of
at the
times,
same time, though, when I say what I say, I'm not no mother, man. I said this earlier. A lot of the women I done had, nigga, I ain't even approached them, brother.
right.
I get approached. So like when I say the platonic thing and me with the friends, it ain't always me coming at them. It be them coming at me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right.
what I'm trying to say is times done changed. Them platonic relationships like that, man, that shit is rare in my opinion. I don't think that every relationship between a man or a woman is on the up and up. And it ain't nothing that nobody can tell me about that. I done seen too many stories with married women. They got this friend, he supposed to be the cousin. She's fucking the shit out that nigga. She talking about that's her cousin. Like, man, I done seen this shit too much, man. So I commend y'all for y'all's experiences, but I still think those are outlier experiences. And when I say this, I'm not talking about just any friend. I'm talking about a friend that is very, very attractive. Most people ain't even very, very attractive. Like, let's think about it. How many of us have had dime piece friends? I'm talking about a real dime piece. Like, everybody knows she a dime. That's what she known for. She look like she Lower London or something. How many of us done had friends like that? Most of the time when we saying that shit, man, the friend we talking about, they be some 7s or some 8s. Real shit. Most people ain't even had no dimes. To be honest with it, most niggas done got some 7s or some 8s, and they call the 8 a dime. It's an 8. Her face is okay, but she got a fat ass and she thick and all that kind of stuff. But she ain't just no certified dime.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that I learned as a youngster. And I'm going to give you a reason of why I look at things like I do. But first, I'm going to speak on the dime thing. I learned this a long time ago as a youngster. A dime is strictly in the eyes of the person who sees them. Because I knew some guys when I was young. And when I was young, I must say that I was a body shamer. You know, fat girls just didn't appease me. But this guy that I knew, he seen a girl that was a little on the plus side, and he was like, man, she fine. And to this day, back then, I could not wrap my mind around what he was looking at. Because he was saying she was fine, and I was like, who, that hockey player over there?
Yeah, but I still don't think the exception disproves the rule. If you ask 10 people about their opinion of someone's appearance, and 9 of them say that she out of there, and 1 of them say she a dime, well, that means that she a dime. I'm gonna go with the 9. The 9 says she's out of there, and that's what she is. You know what I'm saying?
With the eye of the beholder, as you brought up Laura London, I didn't have heard of her before. I looked her up just now. She's got some white in her, and like because she's light skinned, and I only say that because when you look at most of the people that the society we live in puts on a pedestal as the true 10s or whatever, they come from a certain part of the world and are a certain kind of white, that's what this culture puts as that. Because you look at different cultures, like some places in Africa, they have huge rings in their ears or in their mouth. And that's the pinnacle of beauty for them. It could even be weight in some places or in ancient cultures. And this country, you guys know, is like, yeah, pretty white, wanting to be. And I just feel like that's where a lot of that comes from. Because like Lauren London, I guess that's her name. I mispronounced. I said the wrong thing. Like she's an attractive actress, but she's very clearly had some white people in her ancestry. And if she was really dark skinned, I don't think she would have been brought up.
Well, I just said that because that's what people think. She ain't even on my list. If you want my list, hold on. If you want my list, I'm gonna put Serena Williams high on the list, and she black as a motherfucker. A young Serena Williams is gonna be high on my list.
You talking about the tennis player?
Goddamn right.
Oh,
okay. Hold on.
What I mean. You said most people, and that's the society. This society has most people thinking a certain way, and that's why you brought that up. And like, why does it really matter to that societal point? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of racist.
Armin Brown said most men say a cootie cat doesn't have a face on it anyways. Doesn't matter how she looks. And this is true for most men. Most men will smash if she might be ugly as sin. But if it's dark outside and he can get her around the corner and up the stairs and nobody see it, he gonna do it. You better believe that. So I give you 1,000 points on that one, sis. You are so right.
Yeah, so if he'll do that with a woman like that, what you think he gonna do with a dime piece?
That's him.
At a weak moment. At a weak moment. She done got into it with her boyfriend. He tripping. You done got into it with your girlfriend. Y'all chilling, going about y'all problems. Y'all done got drunk. And one thing that led to another. How many times y'all done heard that story? Y'all act like what I'm saying. I'm talking some foreign shit.
No, you know. I have said you heard me say I have been young, so that's why I say I can see it on both sides of the street.
I will say that what you're saying is not crazy. It's what's happening. It's like there's a reason why Andrew Tate got as big as he got out of nowhere. It's because there are a lot of people that think like that. And sure, I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm different from many people, but I just come at it from a certain point because I'm trying to think of how do you help the most people not get into toxic mindsets.
But the thing is, like, you looking at toxicity on one side. I think he got so popular because the pendulum done swung the other way so far. Men act like bitches these days. They sit up and argue with women like hoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get all in the women business. You got niggas like Kevin Samuels all in women business and get applauded for that shit. Men wear skinny jeans. I heard Andrew Tate he had a debate with a guy, and the guy said if it was 10 guys being a threat to him and his girlfriend, he wouldn't fight the 10 guys to protect his girlfriend. He would run. And his men in the comment section applauding that whole shit. So yeah, somebody like Andrew Tate that's gonna come with that masculinity, call it toxic if you want to. Yeah, that shit is gonna resonate with a lot of people.
Hey, was that the one where he said if you had 10 MMA guys just walk up to you?
Yeah.
Man, that shit is ridiculous because first off, they work for UFC. They're not in a street game.
But it was just a hypothetical question. What it was about was it's an immense threat. So if you with your woman, are you gonna run from 10 guys that trying to hurt him?
Well, 5 of them at least gonna get shot right off the bat before anybody realizes what's going on. You better believe that.
But you gonna do something or you gonna run?
Oh, it's going down. It's going down. We finna fight like a motherfucker.
Hypothetical because I can't imagine anybody in the UFC wanting to beat the shit out of any random person on the street like they're in a game.
Well, you just taking some crazy
people with
the
skill set, bro. People that are versed in MMA tactics. They want to hurt you and your girl. They ain't got to be in the UFC. Let's just say they know the game and they want to hurt you and your girl. Are you gonna run or are you gonna try to fight them and give your girl a head start so she can run? I'm gonna give my woman a head start because I ain't no bitch. And a lot of these dudes are bitches out in this world today. These niggas can't even do 10 push-ups. These motherfuckers some hoe ass niggas in this world today. They say the testosterone of men been dropping every year since the 70s, and I believe that. These niggas act like hoes. They even be thinking I'm masculine and shit. Nigga, I'm almost 38. I still run. I work out, all that kind of shit. I got muscles, nigga. I take my shirt off. I got a 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? I can flex on you and look good with my shirt off. Yeah, because that's the kind of dude I am, and I've been putting that shit down since I was young. My mother had a friend named Quana, and when I was 12 years old, she told me you need to do some push-ups so you can knock a nigga out when you need to. And I took that shit to heart. Moved to Dallas so I could start boxing. I love to fight. I'm one of them type of motherfuckers. So yeah, I'm gonna resonate with that shit. I feel like a lot of these dudes today, they can learn something from that. Cause these dudes act like sissies with colored hair. Preaching for homophobic rights and homo rights and trans rights and everybody homophobic and you're transphobic and I can't call you he, I gotta call you she, or I gotta call you they. Like man, come on, man. So yeah, I embrace my toxic masculinity.
People change, the languages change, everything changes. If you're eventually time's just gonna leave you in the past.
That's all right. I ain't got but so long to be here. I ain't got to keep up with everybody. Fuck them motherfuckers. I'm not calling no man, no woman. Do you feel like men can have kids?
Wait, what with the kids?
I said, do you feel like a man can have children? Can a man produce children?
A trans man can, yes.
Well, I see what I'm dealing with. See, but you know, I got a little brother that's young. He about 19 years old, and he got some warped ass views in my mind. Like, man, ain't no way in hell I'm about to sit up here and say a fucking man can have kids, and a trans man ain't a man. That's a fucking woman. Only a woman can have kids. Period. See, but that make me look like I'm transphobic and all that kind of shit because I talk like I have common sense around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's just a clash of the old school versus the new school. That's the reason I asked you that question because I already knew what you was gonna say.
With that, I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick while that's sober through. And Eric R said, that's usually them. That's usually them niggas that smash mud ducks on the regular, or they finish a long bid prison, a long bid in prison.
Which
And
one you
Brown.
talking about?
Oh, he was talking about the dimes and the fat girls. He said, Almond Brown said, you'll do it even if it wasn't a weak moment, LOL. You just said that.
I just said that.
That was earlier.
Yeah, I don't hold on now. If I said something, let me be clear, because I ain't just some lion going to and fro seeking whom I may devour. It ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Just hit us with the Bible, boy.
But real talk though, I'm just not blind to the fact. You know what I'm saying? That an attraction between a man and a woman can get physical if they're both immensely attractive to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to sit up here and be green with that shit. It is what it is.
I have no qualms with that. Things can happen. But Eric R hit us with, you lost me on Serena. She got a fat back, but she got her pop's face.
I'm talking about the young Serena in her prime when she was wearing that damn black cat suit and shit. Can't nobody tell me that wasn't a badass woman right there. What?
She is a bad woman. She is. I'll give her that all the way.
And didn't have to be mixed with no European to be beautiful, is the point that I'm making.
And Almond Brown said, shut up, Eric, with all that there.
Hey, but a lot of people, like, they think Carissa just butt ugly and shit. I don't think Carissa
I like
ugly
Carissa.
like that. I think, yeah, so come on, man. I think Carissa and Serena kind of like on the same, not the same level, but like the same, I can't explain what I'm trying to say, shit. But yeah, they like on the same side of the street type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying. I feel your vibe all the way. I can't believe that we turned from boxing and we skirted all the way on this way. But hey,
it was because I was talking about kickboxing and then Andrew Tate came up.
I mean, it's all good.
No, it's great. It turned out to be a great conversation all the way around.
Andrew Tate has a computer generated name. He is literally in my fight night round 3 game. I beat the shit out of him. I generated Andrew Tate.
I see where this going. You got this man in your sights and everything and anything.
Afterwards, I beat the shit out of this dude named Andrew Tate in Fight Night Round 3 on the PSP countless times. And then Andrew Tate came up in real life. I was like, he's got a computer generated name.
Yeah.
Xavier the boxing nerd, everybody. Came through and bless the channel.
When it comes to the not calling trans people by the gender they want to be called, I can assure you, you won't have to, because if those people end up in your life, they'll be out of it very soon. Like, if you have family,
I don't give a damn, nigga. You said that like I'm.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man, come on, man. I don't give a fuck about that, bro.
I'm being serious. Like, you said you have a younger brother, right?
He ain't no trans, but
I was just asking because all I'm gonna say is that if hypothetically your brother were to come out as a trans woman, I can assure you that you not supporting him. I'm saying him because I don't know what's up with him. You not supporting him would eventually run him out of your life.
That nigga, I'll pack his bags for him. Hurry up and get your ass on away from me.
Oh,
swear business. I don't give a damn about that shit. Hell, I can barely relate to him now. Like I just said earlier. I turned 38 this year. My brother is 19. It's a big gap between me and him. So I don't understand him as it is. He ain't even trans, and I barely like talking to him because I don't understand him. I don't get him. I just don't understand the dude. So, but I'm gonna tell you, somebody getting out of my way is not nothing that's gonna hurt me, man. My siblings, I got 7 siblings, and they all be mad at me because I don't ever call them. I don't ever reach out to them. I'm a loner, bro. That's why I know so much about boxing. I sit in the fucking house. Like if I ain't working or doing whatever I got to do, I'm working on boxing and working on shit that I like. I don't even hang out with friends or nothing. I don't hang out with family. I'm just not that type of guy. So somebody not being in my life is not gonna hurt me at all. I don't give a fuck. But I'm not gonna bend my values or my morals for nobody though. It is what it is.
Yeah, you won't have to because they'll eventually leave.
Yeah, but I don't even have to tell them nothing though because I don't call you. So how can you leave if I don't call you, brother?
Then I guess you don't even have to really worry about that topic at all.
No, but I still worry about it for society though because I don't agree with the shit. I especially don't agree with them pushing the shit on kids. Why the fuck do a kid that's in 5th grade got to go to school doing an assignment on gender? It ain't nothing nobody can tell me that's gonna make that make sense to me.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
What school?
Man, I don't know exactly what school, but I done saw plenty of videos. Like Dr. Phil, it was a father that came on there, and he said his son brought home an assignment about gender, and he was pissed off because he feel like that's something that should be taught by the parents and not by the school. As a matter of fact, I just saw a video today, a short. It was a homosexual man, and he brought up a specific law or something that was in place, and it was basically banning the school from talking to kids about different sexual type shit. And he actually was in favor of it because he felt like that school is supposed to be about education, like math and science and stuff like that, instead of social type shit.
I don't really know anything about the situation.
Look up the shit. Look up Dr. Phil with that debate. Matt Walsh was on the show, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. I ain't making up nothing.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil with Matt Walsh, and he on there talking to a fucking abomination, a man with a woman with a beard, and I'm supposed to be sitting up here being happy to sit up here and look at some shit like that.
Dr. Phil.
Say what?
That's just the 2-minute 22-second on his Matt Walsh channel. The guy that
no, they got a whole episode on Dr. Phil about this.
I see the thing about him breaking it down. I don't.
Maybe they erased it for copyright or something, but they might have erased it for copyright. But I listened to the whole debate between the woman with a beard and Matt Walsh, and they had another trans woman in the crowd, and she's sitting up here. I'm talking about she. Look at me, I'm falling into that shit. Yeah, the motherfucker was saying,
I'm gonna have to see the full thing because I'm not gonna listen to a guy that's obsessed with trans people in the weird way that he is. Cherry. Matt Walsh, he's always talking about trans people. Like, literally, that's all he does is think about being trans. Like, half of these dudes, like Steven Crowder, how many times have you seen him dressed like a woman?
Have you ever seen that documentary he did, What is a Woman? Man, they got this damn, they got to. So do you believe in...
It doesn't have anything to do with him.
Do you believe in children that's 12 years old getting puberty blockers that they call it, but they're actually the same chemicals that's given to sex offenders to chemically castrate them? Do you feel like it's right to give a 12-year-old some shit like that?
Well, I don't know enough about the science to say anything. I will say,
man, I'm not, nigga, that's bullshit. I'm not giving no child no shit like that can fuck them up.
I don't know enough about it. I know that with time we'll know more about it. ADHD medication, new research comes out all the time about that. And how
man, I'm not getting that. They even approving children that's younger than that. That same woman that Matt Walsh was talking about, she talking about that I can't remember exactly how she put this shit, but she can approve a child for different types of treatment as young as 5 and 6 years old. Matt Walsh asked the woman, like, do you know any 5-year-olds that believe in Santa Claus? And she like, yeah. So how the fuck can a kid that believes in Santa Claus be mature enough to make a decision that can affect them for the rest of their life. That woman looked like a goddamn demon to me. That's what she looked like to me. Anybody that'll give a kid some shit like that is a fucking demon.
I feel like the way that's his documentary and he cut it in a certain way, so I don't trust that guy. I don't know enough about it to really say enough about it. I've seen some of the clips and I know that
just look at the basic what I just said. Even if it's not true, let's say I'm making up something right now. Do you feel like a kid that's let's say 12, we'll go with the high end. Do you feel like a 12-year-old giving something that can alter their body for the rest of their life?
I had that with ADHD medication. I feel
that's one thing, but chopping your dick off is another thing.
Hold on. Let me put it like this. We talk about humans all the time and what you would think about a human. Okay, so let's think about a human. As for yourself, and I know you mentioned the HDA, the medicine for ADHD.
Adderall and all that.
Okay, I understand you. Now, I'm not going to give the 12-year-old. I'm going to go back down to the low number of the 5-year-old. How many 5-year-old children have you ever seen doing anything sexual? Just right out your mind, have you seen that? Is that a regular occurrence for you?
It's not regular, but I do know somebody that told me he started masturbating.
No. My question was that you witnessed.
Thankfully, I was not abused.
Not abused. I said a 5-year-old that's doing sexual things, not abused. This is just a child.
That's not the kind of thing 5-year-olds talk about, even if
exactly. Now that you saying that,
but
how could you say, "Oh, I'm going to give this child something to suppress something that hasn't even kicked in this child"? Is that a human thing to do?
The only thing I can think about that is if there are really bad side effects that are learned about it. At the end of the day,
no. So you're saying it's human. It's a human thing to suppress something in a child that hasn't even started to developing yet. And your answer to me is that enough data isn't out on the medicine for it. There shouldn't be a medicine to suppress a child where something isn't even developed. That means you have an alternative that you're pushing. There's an agenda there because there's no reason to mess with a child that's not that thing isn't even developed. Why are you killing something that's not developed?
Well, how is it killing it if it hasn't started?
Well, this is a thing though. Puberty is not so you can grow. It's just so you can grow breasts and become sexually active. Your body gets flooded with hormones because your bones need to fuse at the epiphyseal plate. You have an epiphyses and a diaphyses that have to fuse at the epiphyseal plate. Look at that up when you get a chance. I'd have been to school. I made an A in AMP1 and 2. So if you disrupting that, how can that be a good thing? And I was I don't know if I heard or I read. I do a bunch of reading, but I heard about somebody that was on puberty blockers. And they ended up developing osteoporosis at a young age. And that registered to me because one of the main reasons that we have puberty is for the epiphyses and the diaphyses to fuse in your bones. So if you disrupting that cannot be a good thing. And this is a thing that pissed me off because the woman, if you look at I know you just want to shut out everything that Matt Walsh has to say, but if you listen to the people that if you listen to the people that he interviews though and listen to what they say, to me it's a little alarming. Like this woman said that she can give a kid a puberty blocker and that'll just hit the pause button, and at any time they can unpause and then puberty will resume in its normal fashion. That's bullshit, and she don't even have the research to back that claim.
That's what I was going to say is why I wasn't making a big stance on it because it hasn't been enough time. And before you said all that, I will say that I would have said that I would not put my own kids on puberty blockers because there's not enough research, and what you're describing is research. somebody developing osteoporosis from it is evidence of what can happen.
A little bit, because that's only one case.
I would say that that is too young.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Let's say you got a daughter, and let's say I'm gonna go with a non-contact sport. Let's say she run track. Do you want your daughter competing against men that have transitioned into women? Do you think that's fair?
Oh, sports are not fair. And I've actually got a very interesting video I've seen recently that I want to leave in the comments if it's going to let me.
Well, I saw a trans woman swimmer. This motherfucker got shoulders like Michael Phelps, man. How the fuck them girls about to beat this motherfucker, man? That shit was funny to me.
Not even I think I know what you're talking about. She's in college, right?
I guess, man, the motherfucker tall though, man. It looked like he swim like a motherfucker.
That's the one big one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not even like the greatest. And what she's doing, she's just like, there are a lot better like cisgender women out there than her. And I'm just trying to find this video.
Did you hear about the woman that got her ass whooped in the cage by the trans woman? Beat the brakes off her ass in MMA.
I thought it was also MMA.
It's been a few years, but it was a woman that got her ass whooped in MMA by a trans woman. I guess just for the sake of this shit, I'll say trans woman. Well, yeah, I don't think that's right. And if I had a sister that was doing that shit, I'd be mad. If I had a daughter, I would be mad, man. I don't agree with that shit. But some people, they just want you to accept this shit blanketly and just take everything that comes with it. A motherfucker can claim to be a woman and go out there and beat the shit out your mom or your sister or your daughter. And there ain't nothing you supposed to say about it. You supposed to just be cool with it. Nah, that's bullshit. Them folks are being bullies. How the fuck y'all gonna tell me what I'm supposed to think and what I'm supposed to say? And it just take over my opinion. Like, man, come on, man. That shit ain't right. Y'all fucking up freedom of speech and shit, man. And I'm not even the type of person that's saying, like, I'm not dictating what everybody do. Do what you want to do, but don't dictate how I respond to it or how I feel about life. Nigga, that's how I feel. And when I die, I gotta die alone. Ain't now motherfucker coming with me. So until somebody come with me when I die, I'm gonna think about what I think.
The video I was thinking about in the private chat because I can't post it in public.
Okay, Almond Brown said Florida just passed the law. Don't say gay.
Oh,
where they are banned from teaching K through third grade about homosexuality.
See, the need to pass something like that, though. Laws don't get passed without needs.
What that does is make it so that gay teachers can't exist. They get fired, though.
Well, so
okay, wait a minute. Hold on. So you're a gay teacher, and but wait. Let me lay this out. You're a gay teacher, but as a teacher, you have a curriculum to teach. Yes. You're not supposed to be in there teaching or pushing your thoughts about sexuality onto your students. That has never been, as far as I can remember, that has never been part of the curriculum, and has always been frowned upon. But whether it's a straight teacher or a gay teacher, there is no reason for them to be teaching it that grade sexuality. And even when they do start teaching about sex and stuff like that, they are teaching the basics about reproduction and things like that. Not who you should be liking or not liking.
Protected though. So, but the main thing about that, the big problem is you're a teacher. You're not adding that to your curriculum, but you're teaching, and your kid could, like, one of your students can ask you, "Are you gay?" You say yes. There have been teachers that have been punished for answering their students' questions that were outside of the curriculum, asking.
Well, they don't have to do that though, Xavier. They can tell them they don't have nothing to do with school. Yeah, that's my personal business, my personal life. So they don't have nothing to do with you.
But that's what they have to do. Whereas the straight teacher, if they, are you married? Oh yes, I have a wife. They should get in trouble just as equally.
Yeah, they should. Well, not for saying I got a wife. Nah, I mean that's normal.
Same thing. Because if you're a
man, that's normal, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you.
Yes, I have a husband.
Gay people are privileged. The reason that they're able to be gay is because of straight people. Because if it wasn't for straight people, wouldn't be no kids. Wouldn't nobody be born. The gay people need to be thankful that they can do this shit. Because without the straight people, wouldn't nobody be having no fucking kids. 2 men ain't having kids. Motherfucker need to be thankful. So hell yeah, a man can say I got a wife, or a woman
But
can
a
say I
man
got a
can say
husband.
I have a husband if prompted the same question and their sexuality is different.
Yeah, a simple question like that. I mean,
Well,
damn,
well,
see, I
well-
think if you ask a man, do you got a wife or something? He say, no, I got a boyfriend.
Are you married?
Or, well,
And
if somebody a yes or no, I don't think there's nothing wrong with a yes or no question. If you
Yeah,
ask
that's a
somebody,
yes
are
or
you
no
married?
answer.
If you ask somebody they married and they say yes, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
But why should they have to hide that if they're asked? What if the student continues? Oh, what's her name?
Well,
And you're married to a
at what
man.
point do you decide that you're having a grown folks conversation?
Exactly.
These kind of things happen though in school. They have
Well,
happened.
they need to be more in control. Kids don't need to be having grown folks conversations with adults.
Well, when are they ever going to do it then?
When they become of age to have that conversation.
Why should the adults be punished for answering their questions?
You're an adult.
But my thing is this: why I went to school, did some college. Why I never came into contact with this situation? We all went through
Not
school.
everybody does, but the people that are end up in being punished. The gay people that are approached by their students asking, they should just have the whole point is to give them the equal right to answer the question just as their straight counterparts. If they come into that situation, they shouldn't have to hide it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer that nobody answer the question, or would you prefer that everybody answer the question?
I prefer the person answers it how they feel comfortable. They shouldn't have to feel pressured into doing it a certain way. And not everybody asks these questions, but sometimes it happens, and not everybody's going to answer the same way. Some people, even straight people, I'm assuming, would be like, well, I don't want to talk about this. This is my personal life. I keep that separated. Other people don't. If straight people have this privilege, then gay people shouldn't have to go by a certain set of rules.
I'm gonna ask a question. How do you know if a person is straight?
If they say they are,
Okay, how do you know if a gay person is gay?
if they say they are,
Right. So if they let you know what they are, that's how you know. But now, because you want to run around, now, and I'm not saying you, a community wants to run around and say, hey, I'm this and you should do this. I'm this and you should do that. That is a force. I didn't ask to know that you were gay. So therefore, if I don't know you're gay, I'm treating you the same way I treat everybody else. But somehow that offends you because you feel like you need to be treated different. I need to address you differently. When it comes down to it and you look at it in a nutshell, and that's just how I'm going to look at it right now, is in a nutshell, the same freedoms and things that we are saying that straight people have, gay people have always had those same rights. It's just that they decided to make everybody else care about if they were gay or not.
they haven't had the same rights. People have been.
If you're a human being and I didn't know you were gay, what rights don't you have? You could still vote. You could still do all the other things that you wanted to do. The only thing that came into question later on in life is if two gay people can be married. Well, other than that, everything that I can do, a gay person can do.
Okay, I have an article to send you that's from the 70s. This teacher who did not want to be involved talking about his personal life, but he was forced to, and he was eventually fired for being gay.
Okay, let me say this.
Not equal rights. This was back in the 70s.
See, but the thing is, like one of the things that the transgender people be talking about is like they don't be wanting to be offended and shit by the stuff that you say. Like if it's a transgender woman, they want to be called she. If you call them he, they get offended. Don't you know I get offended when they call us cisgender? Don't nobody give a fuck about that though. I get offended when people refer to straight men is cisgendered. I don't want to be referred to that shit.
That's
That
what
shit, it sounds ridiculous to me. But don't nobody care.
it wasn't really accurate. Straight men aren't necessarily cisgendered. It's the people.
Well, whatever, man. They refer to the normal men as cisgender normally. CIS gendered is what I be seeing. And I don't like it. I don't want to be referred to that. I just want to be a man because that's what I am. So why do I got to be a cisgender man? But don't nobody give a fuck about that because we don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we just have to be sensitive to their needs.
Kind of shows that you do matter more.
Say it again.
The way our society is structured has shown that people who are not trans have more rights than people who are.
But if you offend one of them, you can get canceled, though, right?
Well, what is canceling really? I mean, it's not like you can't post anything on the internet. It's just somebody says you're canceled, or they don't like you. It's like, what is canceling? It's just people not watching you.
Allow me to say something with that. Okay, so now you're saying trans people didn't have the same rights, right?
Well,
am I clear with that? Trans people don't have the same rights, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm just going to throw this out there as a curveball. And when you say a trans person, isn't that a whole new thing? Yes, it is, right? Because you've created something new, something different. So yeah, there's going to be a walk for them when it comes to certain things that they're supposed to do, because either you were gay or you were straight at one point, you know.
Well, some people are asexual, though.
Yeah, bisexual is bisexual. I don't hear a lot of bisexual people screaming about what they can and can't do, because they can do freaking everything.
Well, it's easier for a bi person to pose as a straight person.
Either way, you know, because they go both ways. What I'm saying is you got a trans person, that you got a transgender that you've transcended a gender to something else. That's a whole nother category. And
not transcend. That's what it's short for.
What I'm saying is, you know, to say, oh, well, they don't have the same rights as everybody else. Well, hell, they're not even like everybody else. They're a whole different species.
But they're still humans. At the end of the day, we're talking about people. So,
okay, and when I spoke about each human has the same rights. But just because you're gay, all of a sudden, you know, you don't have certain rights. You've always had those rights.
That nigga said they're a new species.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier when we talked about men and women. They're people.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
All people have the same rights, except when somebody imposes something to try to take that right. Now, all people have not imposed on gay people. All people have not imposed on transgenders. You know, what the only thing that I'm saying is, don't impose on me. Don't say, oh, because you think straight and I think this way, that there's a problem. Because I'm one of the main people who say, just because you got an operation that says you're a woman and you used to be a man, if I pull your blood and your tissue, it's going to tell me that you're a man. That's DNA. Unless they change that, you're still what you are.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you think of it, you're not pulling everyone's pants down. You're not taking their blood out. Somebody that you just met that you didn't know before they transition, you may never know that they're trans.
Do you feel like a person should let a person know if they trans or not?
Well, just somebody they know.
If you meet somebody and you're trying to date and start a relationship.
Well, I thought you just meant meeting somebody and just like friends. When you're doing a relationship, and if you're in a relationship, yes, you should be open about that, because it will tell you very quickly whether or not that person is okay with you in that way, or even some people don't even want to be around them. I thought I got confused. But that's an important thing to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have to touch on it.
I'm glad Trey X's phone died, because I was about to say, if he just dropped out.
Yeah, I was about to mention it, but I see he just added on there that his phone went dead. I'm glad. Because that was a very strange time to drop out. I'm glad his phone just died.
I was about to say, going back to the corner is going to be awkward if that's how the conversation ended.
Oh no, I don't think he just fell out like that because he was laughing.
No,
He was laughing on the last part.
Yeah,
But
I didn't.
yeah,
Um,
I see.
I thought so because the way he was laughing too.
Right, we pushing on 4 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close the doors. But I'm going to say, Xavier, the boxing nerd, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get ready to close out? And I want to say thank you very much for coming and joining the show tonight.
Oh,
It's been deep and awesome. You got a lot of boxing history knowledge. And let it be known that anytime you want to come over and kick it with us, man, the door is always open.
thank you. I guess all I'd say is just thank you for letting me on. I know I didn't ask or anything. I just knew Trey was on, so I knew I'd be able to get on. I didn't want to impose myself, but I'm glad that you were friendly to me joining.
Oh no, you know, you mentioned Trey X. He vouched for you before I even hit the button. So
Yeah.
that's one the door right open for you. You know,
Yeah.
I'm willing to have a good conversation with anybody, and we're always respectful. And you know, it is what it is. Having a good conversation always makes a great show. And Trey said, "No, I'm not tripping. I appreciate the dialogue."
And the other thing I'd say is to Almond Brown and Trey is that since they don't want to be called sis, I'm not going to because I'm not going to go out of my way to be a dick. If I make that mistake, I might say sis in the future because I've been getting used to that. And if I do, I apologize in advance. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'll just make an effort not to refer to either of you that way.
All right. I'm gonna read a couple of more of the things that came up in the chat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close us out. Almond Brown said, "I prefer me to teach my own kids about that, and not have no one else teach my kids or place their morals on my kids. With religion and everything else, I say so." And I can feel that, and I know exactly where she's coming from because I have 4 daughters and a son, and when it came to them learning about sex and things like that, I preferred that it came from their mom and dad, from home, not from some teacher that really knows nothing about them. With that being said, it's been a beautiful, beautiful night, morning. I enjoyed every minute of the conversation. What am I doing? And I know we're supposed to have that song, "Scumbag," Bo Baggins. So with that, I'm gonna play the instrumental and the hook just to give you an idea of what's going on. And with that, I'm gonna say I'm out.
Let me tell you about the legendary Scumbo Baggins, also known as King of Kings. The man so cheap he went to the strip club and the stripper told him to make it rain. That cheap motherfucker checked the weather and told the bitch to do a rain dance. Straight scumbag behavior.
Scumbo, Baggins. This nigga full of shit like gumbo. Bragging. Self-proclaimed king of kings and king of kinfolk. What? Don't wanna pay his debt cause he been broke. So now the men joke.
And that's all I'm gonna give y'all tonight. With that, I'm saying we out. Peace and blessings to everybody. Holla.